What I do is I practice something known as shamanism. And in shamanism, they sing, they dance, they drum.
He gets very sick if he doesn't eat organic food, literally, will get physically sick.
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks. They're full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Oh, there's energy and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why every goddamn thing out of your people's mouths can come true. You said it was all over. You told us the stuff. You. Oh, God. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Because every god thing, God. I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks. They're full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Oh, there's energy and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin possums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
witches and warlocks. You're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Witches and warlocks, you're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Because every god thing. I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks. You're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Oh, there's energy and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why every goddamn thing out of your people's mouths doesn't come true. You said it was all over. You told us stuff. You. Oh, God. Witches and warlocks, you're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Witches and warlocks, you're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Because every god thing.
Well, what did I see? What did I see? Then you sing it. What did I see? Then you swing it. That funny old tune will drive me to ruin. It came along and made me its slave. Now I'm craving things I should crave. It came along and made me its slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave.
Hello everyone and welcome to another stream. I hope you're doing well. I look very moist today. That's because it's incredibly warm in my house, even with the AC on. So I apologize for the moisture. Ooh, we're on a hype train. That was perfect timing. Let's see. Sky Comet Fallen, thank you for subscribing for 5 months. Pier Squire, thank you for a 10-month streak, says our stream baby is finally sleeping through the night. Oh good, I was worried. So Surly, thank you for subscribing for 13 months. 0M80 with 100 bits says, here's some cleanse if you need it. Thank you.
Hey, do you want to come?
Morok Ben Eoth, thanks for subscribing for 3 months, says, figured I'd use the time to tell you that now in addition to my werewolf, I'm also playing a Pathfinder character who is a time-traveling steampunk cat girl with a sniper rifle. That's pretty cool. How does your character time travel? Do they have a vessel, or is it like an ability? How does that work with the character? I love time travel shit. Quig the Chig, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak. Kirthan says, Hannah is girl in red, confirmed. eTune2350 says, sweet solitary bits. Thank you. Halloween Town says, yeah, it's 82, feels like 88 here, and it sucks. Let me see what it is right now. It actually cooled down a little bit outside. Wait, did it start to rain yet? It's about to rain, I think, which will cool things down, which is good. Andrew Patella says, hey Hannah, I didn't catch you live on Saturday, but I think some of what Peter was saying is that the moon is receding away from Earth, unlike most other moons in the solar system. This is because the moon was formed after a planetoid the size of Mars crashed into Earth, and the debris eventually collapsed in orbit. It still keeps some of the momentum from the crash. That's definitely not what he was talking about. He was talking about tidal locking, and him thinking that tidal locking is only a thing with Earth's moon. Pyromancer with 100 bits says, bits for Hype and Peter, thank you. This is with the, I put humidity stuff in my hair too, but now it kind of made it look flat. And it's kind of moist from my sweat, so I can't like fluff it up correctly, but it's okay. Our parasocial relationship is good enough that you can see me on days like this. It's fine. Thank you, Baja. 74Quinn74 says, hype, you're doing awesome, and I love Cult Watch. Thank you. Yeah, today's gonna be interesting. Peter's latest video is crazy, even by Peter's standards. Papasan01, thank you for 100 bits. We're at 59% to level 2 of the hype train. So yeah, Peter did a 33-minute video, which we're gonna watch, and then he did a 2-hour live stream, which we're gonna jump around in, but I think that's mainly what we're gonna do today. Stone Corbell with 100, thank you for the bits. You hate his new haircut? Oh, that's a shame. 0M80, thank you for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community. I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm trying to see if there's something I can put on just briefly while we do the rest of the hype train. We're at 89% to level 3 currently. What am I drinking? Coke Zero with ice. It's in a nice mug that says John Doyle. It's hard to read because of the dark liquid, but on it says John Doyle's Tears. Someone sent that to me, which I appreciate. Sky Comet Fallen says, how long till he becomes a flat earther and goes on a tour to hand out brochures? Honestly, this video, he's steering away from the flat earth stuff, which is good. Quiet 185, thank you for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs to the community. I appreciate that. Andrew Batella with 20 bits says, Peter did talk about tidal locking, but I think he mentioned something about moon receding. Anyway, the giant impact hypothesis is one of the things I wouldn't have learned if I hadn't been deep into Evangelion lore back in the day. Well, thank you. Bumble Homestead says, Hannah, they had these waffles in the craft store. These blue... Oh no, they're blue waffles!
I'll say goodbye. Goodbye?
Blue waffle takes me back. Coke Zero or Diet Coke, which do I prefer? Coke Zero. By far. Mightiest Quinn, thank you for raiding. Welcome, raiders, to the stream. Go check out the Mightiest Quinn here on Twitch. The Meru-sama says, hey Hannah, looking lovely today as usual. What's the name of that pretty dark lipstick you always wear? I need some, but I could only remember it was NYX brand. I think it was Subversive Socialite? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Mfiart, thank you for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community. MMO Addicted, thank you for subscribing for 12 months. Happy Hanniversary. Says, Happy Pride Month. I've been down about all kinds of stuff. Did you know the opportunist from Belarus, who was kidnapped from a forcibly grounded flight, was forced to confess and apologize in a broadcast shown on public screens and squares? I didn't know that. Oh, God. Fryserburn with 100 bits. Thank you. We got to 224%. Oh, it's still going up. We're at 230% of the level 5 hype train. Vast Lunacy with 200 bits says, hey Hannah, hope you, Baja, and the cats are doing well. The cats have kind of regressed, honestly. Lou's attacking Cassia all the time now. It's really frustrating. We're trying to figure out what to do about it, but it's stressful, and I feel really, really bad. Handsomest Robot says, just getting in on the hype train. Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why Lou is all of a sudden... I haven't talked to the vet about it. We have a vet appointment later in the week, so... I'll talk to the vet about it then. Explain what blue waffle is to the people in chat that don't know what it is. It was an internet meme back in the day to be like, hey, have you Googled blue waffle? No matter what, somehow you get people to Google blue waffle. I don't recommend you do this, by the way. It's gross. I don't know if that image is still floating around out there, but it's the internet, so I imagine it is. So it's one of those shock, gross images. It's of someone's genitalia that are very infected with something. It's really, really gross. Bellstar, thank you for gifting a sub. Buttershave says, when are you going to start a cult? I want to make sure I get in on the ground floor. You'll be the first to know. I'll let you know. About a minute left in the hype train, and then we'll get started with the Peter stuff. Do, do, do.
Yeah.
23.30. The Japanese yen futures still stronger at the Chicago Merc, but off of their highs. The stock index futures continue to be on the positive side, so everything kind of bouncing back from yesterday. Dow Jones futures here at the board of trade up 63 points.
Hey, Scotty.
Jesus, man. Dude. Thank you for the hype train,
Have you
everyone. We
ever
got to
had a
level
dream
5.
that you had you could you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
And now, poetry by Gary.
Yeah. Nigga.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. Huh. A goodbye? What is this? The person watching this video right now? Hi, folks. I'm Jubilee Alexander. We've had a lot of fun today, but I want the bye person watching this to know that you are. You are a very good bye. Hey, do you want to come say goodbye? Say goodbye? Goodbye? Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. Huh. A goodbye? What is this? The person watching this video right now? Hi, folks. I'm Jubilee Alexander. We've had a lot of fun today, but I want the bye person watching this to know that you are. You are a very good bye.
Good shit. Okay. Morak says, with Hakase, I chose the drawback where all spells are tech-based, so her time travel method is keyed into her armor from a mechanic standpoint. From a fluff standpoint, I say she has a watch, kind of like Jack Harkness, but obviously steampunk. She's only level 2 at this point, so she can only slow down or speed up time, so I'm fluffing that as her gauntlet is damaged. Oh, that's really cool. I want the... I want to do... God. I wish I could do, like, professor stuff in other people's campaigns, because I think it'd be fun to pop into other people's campaigns, and I want to do a crossover with your character. I think the professor would be almost offended that someone is trying to figure out time travel in such a small... which I think would be funny. It's D&D stuff. Sorry if you don't care about D&D stuff. Have I seen the video Killed the Radio Star set to old meme GIFs? No, I have not. Wait, is there a troll in chat or something? I didn't even notice him. I'm sorry. Thank you, Halloween Town. Profane Priestess says if you want another campaign to play in, I'm available. Maybe. I'm pretty antisocial. Have there been way more trolls lately? Yeah. I think so. God, I'm still... Look at how sweaty my bangs are today. Jesus. I almost need to do the flower crown just to hide it or something. I think I'm going to put my hair up real quick and then we'll start, just because I'm dying of heat, even with the air. I'm dying. Pride Month infuriates them. Yeah. I've noticed an uptick in trolling, too, during Pride Month. Ilium Gal says, I mentioned the other day about the 60s Doctor Who writer who helped birth that religious conspiracy theory. He had a YouTube channel. Also, here's his Wikipedia entry. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, thank you. Alright, let's fix this so my hair's not heating up my neck, shall we? You had to ban a mask-off open Nazi from your chat 3 separate times, yeah. They've been out and about recently. Oh, that feels better already. Okay. Now just ignore my bangs. Alright, I guess let's go ahead and start with Peter's stuff. So, like I said, Peter has an interesting new video today. This is probably one of his more out there videos he's ever made, if not the most out there video. This is almost entirely about aliens, and Peter has decided to come and grace us and explain how, honestly, all politics has to do with aliens. I don't agree. Surprise. So let's check it out. And we also got a hats off, so I'm going to wear some glasses, because a hat would heat me up right now.
I believe that aliens are experimenting on my family.
Now, I hate to be the person that, like, as a joke, stops the video 4 seconds in because it speaks for itself. But I'm going to stop the video 4 seconds in because it speaks for itself. Peter thinks his family is being experimented on by alien beings. I'm concerned for the safety of his family, if I'm being real. There's also a part in this I'm going to have to cut away from the video because he's going to show a picture of his daughter after she was born with some sort of health concern. She had holes in her body. And he puts pictures in, and it's not great, so.
I have 7 stories that are related to aliens to share with you today. I've never revealed all this, and I also have picture proof of one of those stories.
The picture proof, again, is his newborn daughter having some sort of health issue where she has holes in her body, and he has decided that aliens did it.
And as you can see, the pictures...
Nope! No.
Right here, it's a skin sample. My youngest daughter was born with 2 holes in her body that were perfectly cut out with a skin band-aid over, which could only have been done by aliens.
So I had Baha take a look at this. Baha is my girlfriend who is a PhD candidate in developmental genetics. Her cursory glance at this, she said it's probably spina bifida or some other condition like that. Peter thinks it's aliens, but no, it's not. His daughter just had some sort of neonatal medical issue that he refused to get treated because he thought it was aliens. Sky Comet Fallen says he needs help. No joke, he really needs help. He does. This is a job for Spider Horse. It's okay, the picture's already gone and I don't think it comes up again.
Not sure how, but anyway. I have 7 stories to tell you guys, and...
Don't say he refused to get it treated. Did you watch the rest of the video, Baja? At the end of the video, he says a doctor or a medical expert told him to come in and get it checked out, and he refused because he says, I know what it is. It's aliens. I'm not going to bring my daughter in to get looked at. So...
The reason I'm making this video is because Linda, who's someone I like in my comments,
Baja says, what? Yeah, I watched the rest of this video yesterday. At the end of the video, he explains that he did not take the daughter to get help for this. Because he knows, air quotes, that it's aliens, and he didn't feel the need to get it investigated further.
comment section said, unless you knock this off about being abducted by space aliens and correct yourself, I will be unsubscribing you. Linda, I'm sorry to say...
Was she not born in a hospital? I don't know. He doesn't say. He's very vague even about who asked him. He doesn't say a doctor told me to come and bring her in to get checked out. He says someone who knows about medical things. It wouldn't, again, this is just my guess. It wouldn't surprise me if Peter and his wife do home births. Because remember, this is a guy who thinks the only medicine you need is marijuana, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if he has her have the kids at home or something in sort of a home birth situation. Mike Mack says, child services. Yes, this video.
that politics and aliens are one and the same topic now. I can't talk about politics without talking about aliens, because aliens and politics is really, really interconnected. Like, if people knew how much policies, how much politics all around the world was being influenced by aliens, you'd see what I'm talking about. Especially,
is it his most recent kid? I don't believe his third has been born yet. So he's talking about a daughter who has gotten older at this point.
With June 29th this year, the Pentagon is releasing what they know, declassifying what they know about UFOs, and they're releasing it to Congress, and it'll be public. Disclosure is happening right now. UFOs and aliens are in the news every single day now, from what I've seen. So I think it's time to tell people the full story of the 7 alien stories that I have. And please be polite. Viewer discretion is advised. If you're psychologically fragile, I suggest that this video is not for you. And Linda, if you don't want to watch this video, I get it. It's a startling thing.
So he's going to go on in this video. Again, I've watched this already. But he's going to go on in this video to Laughs and Rec Pod. Thank you for hosting. I appreciate that. He's going to go on to talk about his various, quote, abduction experiences or alien experiences. And after that, he'll go on to explain how much anxiety it induces in him. And I completely believe that the anxiety that he feels is very real. I assume what's happening with him based on his descriptions of a lot of these events is he has sleep issues which are resulting in sleep paralysis for him at some points in his life. And sleep paralysis can be a horrifying thing if you've ever experienced it. So I think these experiences with sleep paralysis and sleep paralysis demons, as they tend to be called, genuinely have given him major anxiety issues, and I want to be clear that I feel for that. I'm not making fun of that specifically, because I get it. Even though the events he's misinterpreted, the feelings he feels are real, and I am acknowledging that, okay? I'm not laughing at that. I am, however, probably going to laugh at some of the stranger claims he makes. But I'm not making fun of his real anxieties about this stuff.
To think about aliens, but it's...
Oh, and
what I've
Goth Geek Gaming, thank you for hosting
please be
too.
polite in the comment section, because no jokes like, oh, you got raped by aliens, or he's crazy because he believes in aliens. You said that's not a fair statement. I have evidence of the aliens and interacting with my family, and now these 7 stories, some of these things could be demons, some of them could be spirits, some of these experiences could be dreams. I'm open to that possibility. And if you think any of these stories is something other than aliens, let me know in the comment section, okay? Let me know, because I want to hear what you guys think. If none of these stories have to do with aliens, in your opinion, let me know in the comment section. I would prefer not to believe that I'm being abducted by aliens and my family is. But let me start off with the first story. I'll keep it short. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I lived in Bronxville, New York, and I was going to bed. I was in a room with my 2 other sisters. We're falling asleep, and the closet door opens, and a man walks out. He looked kind of like Zorro for some reason, and then he walked. I was in the top bunk bed. He stopped in front of the bunk bed. He turned to me like this and said, "Beware." And then he straight up walked out and flew out the window.
Okay, let's analyze this real quick. So according to him, a being that looked like Zorro, which by the way, Zorro probably would have been coming out right around the time Peter was a kid. The Antonio Banderas Zorro, which is a good enough movie. Hydrate, thank you. Oh, I spilled water on me. Great. So, this sounds to me like a child who is having a sleep paralysis nightmare, and it happens to involve Zorro, or a Zorro-like being that then leaps out the window. Now, he's going to go on to say that his sisters corroborate this story. I kind of doubt it. I'd have to talk to the sisters. Sky Comet Fallen says, I only had one instance of sleep paralysis. I didn't have any hallucinations, but I couldn't move. The only reason I didn't freak out is because I have a degree in psychology and I knew what was happening. Andrew Batella says, I'm not saying it's sleep paralysis, but... Yeah, I had one instance of sleep paralysis that I can remember. It was not fun. It's not a good thing.
Now, initially I thought this was a spirit or a demon, but now I'm starting to think it's aliens. And by the way, 4 of the stories that...
Peter, why was the alien dressed like Zorro? And why was he in your closet?
I'm telling you, have eyewitnesses, including this one. My 2 sisters saw this being, and they can vouch that this really did happen.
Okay, bring them on then. Let's hear it. I want to hear the sisters say the exact same thing, and I want them to describe it individually without talking to you first.
My sisters. So the next story happened many years later, and basically what happened was I was invited, long story short, I was invited by this creepy guy who looked like a half alien, half human hybrid. That I was in college in Iowa, and he invited me and a bunch of other people to go to his abandoned schoolhouse, which he said he bought for like $60,000 or $70,000 or whatever. And he had meat, and our university wasn't serving meat, and his girlfriend was very attractive, so we're like, and there was not many girls in the university. So we're like, oh, eat a bunch of meat and a barbecue and hang out with his beautiful girlfriend? Yeah, let's do it, even though he was very creepy and weird. So,
okay, there's a lot to unload here. So, first of all, Peter went to college. That's a surprise. Wonder how he did. Wonder if he finished. What was his major? Secondly, he had a friend who was a creepy, and Peter is saying he looked like a half alien, which is not the nicest thing to say about someone. This weirdo apparently had a attractive girlfriend, and Peter and his friends decided to go to this barbecue at an abandoned schoolhouse because this guy had a hot girlfriend, which makes Peter the creep, by the way, in case Peter doesn't understand that. You don't go hang out with someone because their girlfriend is hot, you weirdo. Like, you're not gonna fuck that guy's girlfriend. What are you doing? But yeah, he went to a guy who bought an abandoned schoolhouse, which is a very reasonable thing to do. Morok Ben Eoth says, I have the opposite of sleep paralysis. I will sometimes just get up while sleeping and wander around before I wake up with a start. So, sleepwalking.
He invited me and all my friends to go, and we went, and then one of my friends did some type of shamanic ceremony with sage to like clear us of spirits, because he had like apparently been learning that. And then we ate our food, and then he said, hey, do you want to go to the top of this abandoned schoolhouse? Isn't that cool? And we're like, yeah, of course, we want to go to the top of the abandoned schoolhouse. This sounds exciting. So we all went to the top of the abandoned schoolhouse, and literally as the last person reached the roof, I don't remember exactly how many people. I think it was like between 8 and 12 people. But as the last person got to the top of the roof, it was like 3 or 4 p.m., blue sky, lots of light, no clouds, and someone points up in the sky and says, look at that. And it was an orb of light.
Okay. So Peter was drugged. Peter and his friends were clearly drugged, either by the creepy guy that bought the schoolhouse. And honestly, if you said, describe to me a person who would drug your meat before they feed it to you, honestly, guy who buys abandoned schoolhouse and holds parties there, pretty high up on the list. So either that guy drugged Peter and his friends without their knowledge, which is not cool, by the way. Never drug anyone, ever, under any circumstances, without their consent. And 2, the other thing he said, that one of his other friends was a, quote, shaman, or was into shamanic stuff and did some sort of cleansing ritual. He also could have drugged them with something, because that seems like a very shaman thing to do. Anyway, so someone goes up to the roof, they all go up to the roof and goes, look, what's up in the sky? Thus basically programming into them, there is something in the sky, look at this, triggering a sort of collective hallucination. And they all probably saw something similar, because as Peter's going to go on to say, there was already stories going around campus at the time of other people seeing orbs. So, you're drugged up, you've heard of other people seeing orbs, someone says, look, what's up in the sky? You're high as shit. They saw an orb. This is just Schadenfreude at this point. I don't feel that. It's just sad.
Just floating there, and at that point we're like, what? Is it aliens? Is it aliens? And actually, like a week before that, my friend had said that people were spotting these orbs of light at nighttime flying through the sky, and I was like, oh my gosh.
So what you're saying, Peter, is you were predisposed to assume that that would happen, and then you were drugged, and then saw that. That's pretty standard. Hey, Lou.
And we were walking through the forest, and it's like, hey, look, there's one now. And we saw the orb in the night sky, and then I was like, oh man, I wonder if that's aliens, but we didn't know because it's nighttime. But this time, which was a week later,
if it was daytime, he could have accurately assessed whether or not it was aliens. Tyron, thank you for 20 bits, says, announcer, it was in fact not aliens.
We saw this orb in broad daylight, so we were like, oh my gosh, it's got to be real. And then out of the blue, another one appears next to it, like the invisibility cloak of the alien spaceship was taken off. Boom! And another one. Boom, 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 boom. And they started flying around in a weird way. And then me and my friends were super excited because we're like, oh my gosh, aliens are revealing themselves to us. So we're like hugging and dancing and jumping. And
again, sounds like the behavior of a group of people who have been drugged.
Just high vibrations, super happy. I remember hugging my friend, and then boom. After that, I don't remember what happened.
Like a person on drugs.
One of my friends told me later on that he saw one of the alien spaceships come down and shine a light on us. So I assume we're abducted. But next thing I remember...
You were all on drugs!
We're down from the schoolhouse. I don't ever remember walking down from the schoolhouse. I mean, this is one of those memorable, exciting moments of my life, and there is a deletion in my memory where we're at the bottom of the schoolhouse, we're just sitting in front of a campfire. No one's talking about being abducted by aliens or seeing the spaceships, which is extremely weird.
Probably because your other friends understood that they had taken drugs at that point.
And then we go home as if nothing ever happened. And then a week later, I was like, whoa, was that a dream? I wake up in the morning, I was like, hey, I have this memory of us. And then I talked to my friends. They're like, yeah, that did happen. Now you think about it, I'm not sure why we weren't even talking about it, you know.
I'd like to think Peter's the weirdo in the friend group, and he's like, guys, did we get abducted by aliens? And they look at each other, and they're like, yeah, we remember getting abducted by aliens. That's a real thing that happened, Peter. Bitter Grin, thanks for subscribing for 6 months. 2 trimesters down.
We interact with aliens for the first time in our life, and we didn't even talk about it. So that was also weird, that our memory was like, the whole event, parts of it was deleted, and parts of it we didn't even remember for about a week. And then that's when we were like, oh yes, we all saw this. You know, there was a lot of people that saw this between 8 and 12. And so this was a real event. No, we weren't on any drugs.
You were on drugs.
I do believe we were abducted.
You were given drugs against your will, which is fucked up, and fuck that guy. But you were on drugs.
So the next experience, which experience number 3, was I was in Panama, and then I have this dream that I'm brought out to the balcony in the house, and there's someone who I can't see. It looks like an adult alien, but I can't remember what they look like. And next to them is standing is a little girl. This happened about 2.5 years after. There's a little girl, and the being that I don't remember seeing, but I knew I felt their presence, said, "Look at her, she is your daughter." And this happened
again. Felt their presence is like perfect dream logic. That doesn't mean anything in real life. You don't feel the presence of beings. You were having a dream, Peter.
While I was sleeping, and for a while I was wondering if it's a dream or not, but basically he said, "This is your daughter, I'm taking care of her, don't worry about it." It looked like a half alien blonde hybrid. As you can see, people have had similar experiences, and they've drawn pictures.
So this is what Peter's half alien daughter looks like, because Peter now thinks he has a half alien daughter somewhere out in space. Now, look, I'm no alien, so I can't exactly tell you what they're looking for in a mate. But if I'm an alien and I'm looking for a human man to give me genetic material to make a child, I think I can do better than Peter. Your options are endless. Nobel laureates, you know? The greatest athletes on Earth. Geniuses. Gods among men. Peter, who lives at home at 32. He's who I want to father my alien babies. Sky Comet Fallen says, "Signs. Daddy, there's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?"
This is what I saw, something that looks like this. It was like a...
I'm laughing to death. Says, Hannah says she's no alien, yet also admitted to being a reptilian. Please explain. Who said reptilians weren't from Earth? We live at the center of the Earth. Get it right, okay?
half alien, half human hybrid little girl. And he was basically saying, you know, this is your daughter, and, you know, we're taking care of her. And then I thought it was a dream, but I've always remembered it. And then...
Sorry, kitty.
Really researching the abductions and all that, I realized this is very common.
It is a common delusion for people to have during their weird sleep paralysis hallucinations. That doesn't mean it's real. F.H. Natchtmar, thanks for subscribing with Prime.
And they abduct you and take your semen and make hybrids. It's a courtesy to actually introduce you to your hybrid children.
So they'll assault you and steal your genetic material without your consent, but they feel the need to show you the genetic offspring as a courtesy? That doesn't make sense. Profane Priestess says, fun fact, we know hallucinations are primed by cultural myths. When Close Encounters came out, abduction stories changed to match the movie's depictions. Yeah. Definitely a thing. And especially for Peter, someone who spends time researching this stuff, I'm sure he knows all the tropes about alien abductions. So his sleep paralysis delusions, not even delusions, what's the word? His sleep paralysis hallucinations are going to be very in line with those stories because he's inundated himself with those for years. It's almost like a weird feedback loop. Him getting, air quote, abducted makes him investigate more alien stuff, which when he has sleep paralysis again causes him to have hallucinations that are even more in line with those stories. It's not good. He's priming himself for his own nightmares. Bellum Guardian says he got squeezed by the alien J-O machine. Morak Ben Eoth says, as someone who follows the alien conspiracy rabbit hole very closely, this sounds very tropey, which means it's either real or more likely a ripoff of someone else's story.
So, for a while, I wasn't sure if this was a dream or not, because it definitely happened in a dream state while I was sleeping. It was just, in my head, it was just a weird dream, but it felt very real. And then after hearing all these stories of aliens introducing the hybrids that
Peter, you can have very, very vivid, real-feeling dreams. One of the coolest dreams I've ever had, and this was in the last year or so, I had a dream where I was my D&D character, the Professor. It was awesome. It felt vivid and real, and I can remember, details about the location specifically. I can remember specific actions I took. Like, it's really, really cool. And you can have this in either good dreams or bad dreams. So I'm sorry that you had these bad experiences, Peter, but they're still dreams. Dreams can feel very real, but they're not. They're dreams.
They made with your DNA. I do believe that this was, in fact, my daughter, and that the reason it came to me in a dream state was so that I could handle it, because if it didn't happen in a dream state, like if he actually took me on the balcony and I saw the crazy alien and I saw the hybrid and it was not a dream, I'm not sure I could have psychologically recovered from that. So sometimes things are presented in...
But what's the difference? You just said it was vivid and almost real, so what's the difference if it's a dream or not?
a dream state, so that people who were psychologically fragile like me at the time can handle it. And now when I'm stronger, I can finally digest that that was a real experience, in my opinion. Could be a dream. I don't know. Anyway, story number 4. Story number 4 happens while we're taking a vacation with my family and an island in Panama. And my mom slipped on these stairs and actually hurt her hip. She broke her hip. It snapped in half because she slipped down these slippery stairs. And so she was taken to a hospital like on the island, but they had apparently, I think she got taken off the island. Yeah, she got taken off the island in a boat to a area in Panama, that hospital that had like no medicine, because apparently this hospital, whenever they had medicine, it would get stolen by thugs. So they had no painkillers. And my mom was in the most pain she'd ever experienced in her entire life. And so my dad told me, I didn't know this, he told me about like a month or two ago, that he was sitting at the hospital. He was telling all of his church members, because they're missionaries.
Where's
he had
Freddy
a lot
Krueger
of friends.
when you need
Please
him?
pray for
Yes.
my wife. She's in a lot of pain. There's no painkillers. And it's going to be like a long time until we can get her back to, Panama City, where they have good hospitals and painkillers. And everyone was praying and praying for my mom. And then he said he saw in his mind's eye. He wasn't sure if he saw in real life or in his mind's eye.
Mind's eye, aka your imagination. You know, the thing that isn't real. You know, the thing that isn't real?
He doesn't remember, but he remembers seeing 4 gray aliens walk into the room with, I think there was 1 or 2 wands. I think maybe one of them had a wand. I don't remember. But there was a wand, and they waved the wand over my mom. She's like, oh, I'm in pain. And they waved the wand over my mom, and her pain went away.
Beep, boop, bop, boop. I don't know why I'm doing beeps. They're not robots, they're aliens. We must go to Earth and, save, humans with our technology. Oh, are we gonna go... Also, why are you talking like that? We talk normal. Are we gonna go cure cancer? Are we gonna go save children dying of AIDS? No, I thought we would go to an island off of Panama and help Peter's mother because her hip hurts. Boo! What the fuck?
So the most painful experience she's ever had in her life. She's in so much pain. And then she looks at my dad and says, the pain is gone. What? But all of a sudden, the pain is gone. What's going on? My dad never told anyone until recently.
Morok says, exterminate, exterminate.
My dad believes that these were spirits that came and healed. But I'm like, yeah, gray aliens with a technological wand that takes pain away sure sounds like spirits to me. Yeah, right. Could have been spirits? I don't know. Maybe. But
I like the idea that Peter and his dad are arguing about, are they aliens or are they angels or spirits? It's just like, it's like arguing the color of a unicorn's fur. Like, what are you talking about? Mike Mack says, Peter will soon say that his so-called medicine or weed will until your third eye or mind eyes, and I meet people who believe this. Well, hold on, I gotta take that from the top. Peter will soon say his so-called medicine or weed will until your third eye or mind eyes, and I meet people who believe this. Open. Okay. Again, proofread. Proofread so you don't have to correct yourself afterward. Open your third eye. Thank you.
But the fact is, my mom's went from the most pain she's ever experienced in her entire life to no pain, and 4 gray aliens walked into the room and waved a wand over her. So it is what it is.
Everyone knows aliens are just fairies in disguise.
When
Good disguise.
I was
the unicorn's fur is purple.
Autism therapy.
What is this
I got
lilac
sent to
bullshit?
Dubai to learn autism.
Oh God, the next is the next one the one that's hilarious. Logarth says, "I thought that they were, I thought that they were angels, but to wait, what's the? Oh God, I thought that they were angels, but to my surprise, they got aboard their starship. We headed toward the skies. Come sail away." Yeah, I like that song.
Therapy, and I was staying.
Is that ABBA? That's Styx.
In a apartment that he had set up for me. I was doing training, and I would take a taxi to go to the location where I was being trained on autism therapy. And that night, I had so much pain in my anus, to be honest. And
this is the story, and I'm not kidding, in which Peter's anus hurts, and then he hears a noise, therefore he assumes it was an alien abduction. Baja, apparently I get abducted by aliens every time we have a relatively rough, You know what, never mind. I'm exiting out of that joke.
I kept on thinking, like, was I abducted again? Did they put something in my butt? Like, what? Like, I kept thinking that weird thought, like, the only thing that can explain why my anus hates so my, I don't know what you call it. My poop comes out of my butthole or in there.
Let's roll that back.
Again, did they put something in my butt? Like, what? Like, I kept thinking that weird thought, like, the only thing that can explain why my anus hates so my, I don't know what you call it. My poop comes out of my butthole or in there.
Mike Mack says, I'm surprised she doesn't believe aliens are demons or angels because they're Christian and they believe they're either. Yeah, some Christians think that, so. And Lynn says, yeah, I have the Paranormal Radio app and listen to it nightly for entertainment. This is a common claim for those who think they were abducted, talking about rectal pain and a metallic taste after being taken by UFOs. Profane Priestess says, your sphincter, Peter. It's called a sphincter. Towing24 says, let's be real, Peter got really high and decided to experiment, and this is the lie he's going to use. Logarth says, aliens during abduction. Not right. Not it doesn't? What?
I don't know what you call it. My poop comes out of my butthole or in there.
I don't know why, just that, I'm sorry, I'm a child, but for some reason that wording is just so funny to me. My poop comes out of my butthole. Like, yeah, good job, Peter. You must have eaten Taco Bell. How dare you besmirch Taco Bell like this?
So my, I don't know what you call it. My poop comes out of my butthole or in there.
I want that to be my new text notification. So I'm just in public, and it's gonna ding, and it's gonna go, my poop comes out of my butthole.
The only way I can explain why
Mike Mack says, as a Mexican, I can. Taco Bell sucks. Yeah, of course it sucks. It's not like authentic Mexican food. It's trash, but it's delicious trash. Logarth says, not right now it doesn't. It's an old meme from a porno involving anal. The actress is like, but poop come out from there. Oh, don't worry, he's only smells. Alexa, play Smash Mouth, says, I laughed so hard when I first heard that. If only Peter could make comedy gold like that voluntarily.
It hurt so much as someone must have put something in there. Because it was just so much pain, like someone shoved something in there. And so, anyway, I was like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just have...
Peter, sometimes... I
have abduction paranoia. But then I'm walking to get a taxi with my coworker, and we're just walking, and then we hear over our head, we hear, and something flew away. And then we're like, what? It sounded like a spaceship. I lived next to airports most of my life, and I've heard a lot of flying things. I never heard anything that sounded like... And I was like, did you hear that, airplane or spaceship or something like that? She's like, yeah, we looked up, there was nothing.
Peter knows exactly what an alien spaceship sounds like. How does he know this? Because he heard it that one time and decided that that's what an alien spaceship sounds like. He didn't see it, but he heard it. And that means that he knows what alien spaceship sounds like. Mike Mack says, Peter, poop comes out of my butthole. In breaking news, the sky is blue.
Nothing. And I was like, what did it sound like to you? And she's like, it sounded like some type of alien spaceship flying away. And I was like, yeah, it did.
How would you... Peter, how would you know what... We don't even know if aliens exist, much less if they have spaceships, or what those spaceships would sound like if they existed. That doesn't mean anything. I could make... those little horns that go, ahooga, like the old-timey car horns? Ahooga. I could literally do that and go, I think this is what an alien spaceship sounds like. And it has the same level of evidence and validity as your claim that they sound like voo-voo-voo-voom. Like, it doesn't... We could go down a list of cartoon sound effects, Peter. I have all day, and none of them are evidence to sound like an alien spaceship.
Again, it could have been anything. Could have been all my imagination. I don't know for sure, but because of the abduction experience that I had, I do believe that the aliens anally probed me. It's likely, and that they deliberately were loud and flying away to tell me that I'm not crazy and that something did happen to me that night.
So they don't inform you directly of the anal probe, but they have a little button on their console that's it's not actually, the spaceship is silent, that's just their horn. It's the horn that says, we probed your ass, sorry. Hits the button, voom. That's just alien language for sorry we got in your butthole. Alexa, play Smash Mouth, says, I heard that Ron Watkins has shifted from Q to aliens. Is this why Peter is focusing on this now? There's been more discussion about aliens in the Q circles, which is probably why he's talking about it, though he's always had a fascination with aliens. So, Profane Priestess says, so this sounds like Peter had a hemorrhoid or the creepy guy assaulted him while drugged, but no, it must be aliens. The creepy guy was a different situation. So, probably hemorrhoids or some other issue, who knows. Logarth says, so I made a South Park adjacent joke too soon. And Marcus Drake says, so here's the thing I don't get. Even if aliens came to Earth, what would they learn by probing our asses for 70 years? Maybe they think that's where our brains are and they just can't find it and they're very confused because maybe their brains are in their asses. They're like, how are they functioning? They have no brain. It's just full of all this brown stuff.
The next experience, I believe, when I was abducted in college, because it was high vibrations, very happy, I do believe those benevolent beings, good people, good aliens that were doing something good. I like to believe that is the case. But this next experience was very, 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 very scary. Maybe the scariest I've ever been in my entire life. I was in Maryland, Ellicott City. I was trying to fall asleep. I was with my 1.5-year-old daughter, Keika, and my wife, Nari, and everything in the apartment had been locked. And all of a sudden I'm trying to fall asleep, and the apartment is extremely creaky. Like, it was one of those apartments where you walk and every step is like, and you
That's what I think an alien spaceship sounds like.
walk and every step is like,
Logart says, aliens are checking in, checking to see if the vaccinations are giving us autism. And Sky Comet Fallen says they're just trying to help us prevent colon cancer.
and even the doorknob was squeaky. So all of a sudden I hear, boom, boom, footsteps in the house, and I'm like, what in the world?
I like that he already says that the house was old and creaky, which could easily explain this. Because I have an old house. My house was built in 1933, so it's almost 100 years old. Parts of it. I have an add-on that was added, I think, in the 70s or something like that. But most of my house was built in the 1930s. It makes noises. It makes noises sometimes. Old houses settle, especially as the temperatures change. Like, that happens. Hydrate? Okay. Mike Mack says, I bet he hates theories that claim aliens created us because he's a man of faith. Probably.
That must be the neighbors, right? It must be the neighbors, because I locked the balcony, I locked the door, it's my job to be a protector, I locked the apartment well before I went to sleep. Then I hear the creakiness. This entity, or entities, was walking towards my bedroom door. Now I'm really freaking out. I'm like, tell me this is the neighbors. This can't be real. And then I hear a pause right when the entities get to my door. I think it was one. It sounded like one. Didn't sound like footsteps. Sounded like one entity. I hear my door knob to my bedroom opening. Or maybe it doesn't sound like that. Like, I don't know how a doorknob sounds, but I heard it open.
Peter knows how an alien spaceship sounds, but he doesn't know how doorknobs sound. Maybe Peter's the alien. Enlid says the anal probes are just one of the experiments that were approved on humans and other Earth beings by a treaty between aliens and President Eisenhower. In exchange, the Earth would get technology. The treaty came after forming the Majestic 12. Yes, ufologists actually believe this. Wow. Profane Priestess says, I'm not trying to be ableist, but are we sure Peter doesn't have schizophrenia or some other severe delusional issue? I don't know. I'm not qualified to make any sort of assessment like that, and even if I was, YouTube videos wouldn't be enough to make that call. So. Mike Mack says, Peter probably watches Ancient Aliens and thinks it's real. Yeah, he's kind of the perfect audience.
Opening. And people make fun of me at this point in the story, but I put my covers over my head and was like panicked.
I've said many times, and the more Peter talks, the more I feel validated in this claim, that Peter is an interesting case of arrested development in that the way he thinks about things is very black and white, good and evil, simplistic, are very childlike, and a lot of his rationale tends to be on the level of a young child or pre-adolescent, because I don't think he developed properly because of his living environment in the cult. This is a perfect example. An adult who's, and by the way, his family's there, I think he said in this story. Like, his children are there, and he hears an intruder in the house, and his instinct is to throw covers over his head like he's 6 years old and he's afraid of the boogeyman coming out of his closet. Like, this is not the rationale of a normal, well-adjusted adult.
And people are like, "Whoa, you're supposed to defend your family, and you're acting like a scaredy cat, and you're not trying to fight." I was like, in my head, I knew these were aliens, and I felt they were evil. You're gonna fight evil aliens, dude? They just got into your house.
Well, they're your family. So, and again, I'm not gonna have kids, but like, Baja, for instance, her and I are going to be moving in together soon. If there was ever an intruder in the house, or I suspected there to be an intruder in the house, first of all, I think both of us would want to protect each other, which would be an interesting scenario. But I'm not hiding under the covers. I'd be terrified, and I probably wouldn't think I'd win the fight because I'm a bitch. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to just sit by put my head under the covers and hide like that's gonna do anything. Like, what? Peter, no. This does not make you look particularly good. Logarth says, let's be honest, I'd rather have him hiding under the covers than getting his gun and shooting someone. I would agree with that.
That was locked. Your apartment that was
But what if it was an evil alien? Why would an evil alien come to visit me?
locked. Yeah, right, I'm gonna just fit. And also, I really...
Also, Peter, go watch the movie Signs, okay? Get a glass of water and swing away. You'll be fine.
I didn't want to see the aliens because it's very... I have alien phobia, even though I love aliens. Like, if I had seen the aliens, that image in my head would have really scared me for life. So I deliberately did not want to see who was coming in, the aliens. So I covered my head, and then boom, my memory goes blank, deleted. And for the first time in like, I think 8 or 9 years, I slept through the whole night. I'm a very light sleeper. I've never slept through the whole night since I was like maybe like 16.
See, this lends credence, I think, again, too, and we're basically detectiving this. We're trying to Sherlock Holmes. Is there a version of Sherlock Holmes that's, like, Gregory House is just Sherlock Holmes, but he's a doctor? Is there a version of Sherlock Holmes that's, like, someone who's a psychologist or something? Anyway, the breadcrumbs we're picking up here. The fact that he has trouble sleeping indicates higher likelihood of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is more likely in people with insomnia. So Peter having multiple instances of sleep paralysis because he hasn't slept properly since he was 16, that tracks. He probably just has sleep paralysis and insomnia. Sky Comet Fallen says, maybe he'd visit you to raid your booze. I don't have any. I've quit drinking, but, you know. Chaotic Kitten with bits, thank you. Marcus Drake says, Hannibal Lecter. I suppose, yeah. Minus the eating people, sure.
Even then, I don't think... It was probably like so long.
Hello,
I don't
Chaotic
ever
Kitten.
remember
Good
sleeping
to see
through
you
the whole
too.
night. But that night, I slept through the whole night. And then my head was placed at the feet of the bed. I was on top of the comforter, and I was lying on my stomach. First of all, I never sleep with my head at the feet of the bed next to my wife's stinky feet. I never sleep on top of the comforters. I never sleep on my belly. So I was placed deliberately in a way for me to be like, what the heck? I was abducted. That wasn't a dream.
They didn't want to use the v-v-v-voom horn this time because they didn't anally probe him. So they did the other thing they do to tell people they've been abducted, which is to place them back in the bed backwards.
And then, but I was still wondering, like, I was hoping it was not an evil alien that abducted me, but as I've learned from Majestic 12, you can feel the energy of aliens. High vibration aliens feel happy, like the experience I had in college. Negative aliens, evil aliens do have a low vibration. You can feel fear and negative emotions. So this was, unfortunately, an evil entity, alien. And so I was still trying to hope, like, oh, maybe this is fake. Maybe this didn't happen. Maybe it was just a dream. But I was like, I was placed in a way in my bed that's impossible. Like, I've never slept like that. And anyway, so that day I have a play date with the neighbor downstairs. And I bring my daughter down. He's got a daughter. He's also a stay-at-home parent like me. And I tell him the story, and he says, oh, I saw the alien. I said, what? He's like, I saw the alien spaceship. I was like, dude, don't joke around like that. He's like, no, I did. I recorded it. I was like, what? Show me. And lo and behold, a video recorded around 10:30 last night over our apartment, a orb of light that is not a plane, a helicopter, making no noise, orb of light just sitting there.
Okay, so the orb in that instance doesn't make a noise, but you know the noise other spaceships make. So some spaceships are silent, but other spaceships make noise. Okay. Towing24 says, did his sleep paralysis start after the creepy guy? Sleep paralysis and insomnia could be symptoms of him not processing his assault. Possibly. Could also be a PTSD thing. I don't know. No, he said 16. He said the instance with the person who drugged him was in college. So that would have been a couple years later at least. But he could have PTSD or something else. He did grow up in a very strange situation in that gun cult. So, who knows? But again, I'm not trying to, I don't know that for any sort of fact. I have no indication that that's the case. It's just complete speculation on my part. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, I've never felt a high vibration alien, but my wife has a high vibration rabbit. But, zing. What the fuck? Gay Rude NB Union says, why do people get mad when people have kinks? Just let people pee on their cousin's feet. Does it have to be your cousin's feet? I don't care what people do, but the familial relation thing is a little icky. One Speedy Yoshi, thank you for subscribing with Prime. 4 months, thank you.
There, over our apartment. It wasn't like right over, it was like a little further away, but it was clearly the same orb that I had seen previously in my previous abduction experience. So that was startling, and what's kind of weird too is that I didn't ask for that video, which when you think about it, if he has proof that aliens abducted me and they recorded a spaceship, wouldn't you want that video? I didn't think of asking for that video except for like months later.
That makes no sense to me. If someone said to me, I have footage of an alien spaceship, I'd say, show me it, probably because I want to debunk it, and then I would ask for a copy immediately. And also the guy deleted the video. Yeah, when I have proof of aliens, I definitely delete it to save space. Let's see. I have almost no space left on my phone. What am I gonna delete? I could delete Astro Lounge, my favorite Smash Mouth album, or I could delete proof that alien beings exist. I don't need the alien proof. Okay, yeah, delete, and we are good. Time to download the new. Whatever. You get the bit. Who the fuck deletes alien proof? Maybe Flipping Peter is the alien's turn down service. Chaotic Kitten says, did the Power Hour challenge with Jeff and Ian while watching Passions last Saturday and you were drunk? I'm sorry. Chrysia says, wait, if it's the same orb, how are they different aliens? Also, he definitely just rolled in his sleep. Yeah.
I think sometimes aliens are influencing our thoughts, and they didn't want me to have that video. Later, when I asked him months later, hey, do you have the video? He said, I deleted it. I'm like, dude, you recorded an alien, you deleted it, and me, I'm dumb enough to not get a copy of that before he deletes it. But anyway, I feel like that was some type of influencing our thoughts or something to make sure that we didn't have that video. But at least I saw that video. I knew it was real. I saw it when he recorded it. He just happened to see a UFO the night and time and place where I was abducted. These are the type of things that make me think that it's not spirit, it's not a demon, it's not a dream. And there's evidence, physical evidence. And then the final story has the most physical evidence. As you can see,
I believe, again, this is the story about his daughter, so just in case, I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually show the picture again, but give me a sec to make sure.
Here, my daughter was born with 2 holes in her back. Sorry, 1 hole in her back and 1 kind of near her groin area on her leg.
Again, this is a medical issue. He forgot to put in the photos here, which I actually appreciate. I don't want to see those photos of his sick kid. And let me be clear, I feel so much sympathy for this child. That's terrible. Unfortunately, it appears, based on what he says throughout the rest of this, he probably didn't get her the medical care that she needed. Sounds like his friends just fuck with him about the alien stuff. Oh, I would imagine they do. I would.
As the picture you can see here is one of the holes. I know a lot about health.
By he knows a lot about health, he means he thinks weed is, and I'm not kidding, he's self-published, I think, 2 books on how he thinks marijuana is a panacea that can cure literally any disease. Diabetes, cancer, stuff like that. So he does not know anything about medicine. He doesn't know anything about anything like this. He just thinks he does because he smokes a lot of weed.
This was not like a disease. What was very weird about this hole is that
it was some sort of birth defect, Peter. Again, specifically because it was on her back. Potentially some sort of spina bifida or some other issue like that. Fucked up. You think he's giving the kids weed? Probably not THC, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's given them CBD, which I don't think you should probably do to kids, especially considering he makes his own CBD that has dirt and isopropyl alcohol in it. Mike Mack says a chiropractor knows more about health than Peter.
When my daughter was born, you had this hole in her back. It's a perfectly cut circle. You can't really see how perfectly cut it is because it's stretched out in the photo, but it's a perfectly cut circle on her back, and a perfectly cut circle. It's like someone had cut out a circle of skin, taken a skin sample, and taken it out perfectly, like a perfect circle on her spine, and then near her groin area on her leg, upper leg. And what's weirder about
Logarth says that's called sacral dimple. Let me take a look. I'm not going to show on screen, obviously, but I'll take a look and see how it compares to the photo he showed earlier. Chaotic Kitten says, I was cheering bits that were taking hit points off me. Derp. Sacral dimple. Okay, let me look this up. Oh yeah, that looks exactly like what Peter is describing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Oh yeah, that looks exactly like what he's describing, and it looks a lot like the picture he showed earlier too. So yeah, probably a sacral dimple. Thank you, everyone. It's almost like Peter doesn't know anything about anything, and he shouldn't be diagnosing his newborn child and instead should be taking her to a doctor.
it really made it didn't take like more than a minute for me to be like, oh, they took skin samples for my daughter. Don't know how, probably, I'm guessing, went through my wife's belly and did some operation, and I don't know.
An adult who talks about pregnancy in terms of my wife's belly. Logarth says, luckily they are mostly safe, but can be an indication of improper spinal development, so similar to spina bifida. Okay.
She's probably not going to want to hear this. My friends and family, they watch my videos, and they're probably going to think I'm crazy, but
Peter's friends and family, get him help. He's not getting any saner, okay? I'm just telling you, here's my fear about Peter, and I'm not making any accusations. I don't think Peter is an inherently violent person, believe it or not. I just think he's a person dealing with a lot of false ideas about the world, and is easily led to delusion. So even though I don't think Peter is an inherently violent individual, I think his distorted beliefs about the world can lead him to violence in a way that makes sense to him. I'm afraid one day he's going to wake up and decide one of a few options. Either he's going to think, if we're talking about the QAnon stuff that he's into, he's going to think, well, Trump isn't coming back. We're all doomed. The deep state's going to kill us all. I might as well do my family, a favor and put them out of their misery quickly instead of being put in, like, George Soros FEMA camps or whatever, and then he, kills his whole family in what he would deem, mercy killing. Or I'm afraid he's going to get into the alien stuff more, and he's going to someday decide, like, my family's been replaced by aliens or something delusional, and he's going to do something similar. I'm really worried about that. So Peter's friends and family, I would recommend you get him some help before this gets to an area where it's hurting other people. He already apparently didn't get his newborn daughter health care that she could have needed. Just saying, even though I don't think he has malintentions, I don't think he's doing this with malice. Ignorance and delusion can hurt people. Basically the Mist movie ending, yes. pretty much. But that's a real thing that happens in real life, too. I was actually listening to a podcast that's very good, the Psychology in Seattle podcast, that held a whole video on types of, I think they're called family eliminators or something like that. It's something like that. It's a phenomenon that happens where a family member, a father or a mother, will wipe out the whole family for some reason, and one of the types of family eliminators are people who do so because they want to save their family from some other fate. Often it'll be like they're having money trouble and they're just hopeless about the future, so they think, well, I don't want my family to starve, so they take them out, and then they maybe take themselves out. Not always. I think the statistic is like 50% of family eliminators kill themselves after. But anyway, it's a real concern, at least from where I'm standing, but that's just my opinion, my unprofessional opinion, that's for sure.
I really don't care. I have thick skin at this point. But the point is,
Mike says, like, Itachi killing his whole clan? Is that an anime thing that I don't know about?
these holes had skin band-aids on them, which was very weird. And so I don't know how it happened, but these holes, imagine you have a hole in your skin, and then you 3D print skin, like a thin layer of skin, and you put that thin layer of skin on top of the hole. So these two holes on my daughter, they had what I call skin band-aids over. They had little layers of skin, a thin layer of skin right over the band-aid that fell off within the first like 6 hours. Like it just slid off, the skin band-aid. So it was so weird. There's a piece.
Again, that sounds exactly like the thing that, you know, the other person had me look up. Which I'm already forgetting, which I need to bookmark. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Let me save this for my next Peter discussion. Because I made a whole folder for stuff to bring up during Peter's next...
New information that I think you're going to be...
Oopsie, wrong Peter video.
Piece of thin skin right over these areas, and then underneath there was a perfectly cut hole. There was no infection, there was no inflammation. This was shown to a skin expert. He said he'd never seen it ever before.
Notice he didn't say doctor, and I find that incredibly suspicious. He showed it to a skin expert, air quotes. He didn't say a dermatologist, he didn't even say a doctor. He said skin expert, which makes me think in his weird alt health community, where Peter again makes his own CBD out of isopropyl alcohol and thinks that weed can cure cancer and diabetes and stuff. I feel like he has some other friend in that community who's like, oh, I'm a skin expert. I'll tell you what kind of CBD or essential oils to rub on your skin. So he showed that guy a picture, or showed him the actual daughter, and the person had no idea what it was because they're not a doctor.
This is someone his whole thing is, you know, skin problems, diseases, whatever.
Again, the way he's tap dancing around, you know, saying doctor or dermatologist, and he's not saying that, very much makes me think this is not a doctor that he's talking to. Vast Lunacy says a skin expert sounds like some Silence the Lambs shit.
He couldn't identify what it was. He wanted me to go in and check it out and them to do all this tests. I was like, I already know what it is. If you can't identify it, it's got a skin band-aid over it. It's a perfect circle. And the holes appeared while my wife was, you know, while my daughter was in my wife's womb. That was alien experiment. They took skin samples. So
he didn't actually go and get his daughter any form of medical care for this. Again, if it is the other thing that someone brought up, it's possible it would have been fine, but the daughter probably could have gotten an infection. And honestly, Peter didn't know what this was. So it could have been something worse that he should have taken his daughter to the hospital for, and he chose not to because he decided it was aliens. Think about how dangerous that is. Like, imagine what other potential health concerns his kids could have that Peter would refuse to get treated because he thinks it's aliens. Scary. R. Wester V, thank you for extending your Tier 1 through September. Wow, thank you. Logarth says, the Band-Aids were probably actual Band-Aids. No, the images showed that there were other instances like that where there was skin over it, but there was just like material, I don't know what you would call it, human meat missing underneath. Pixar, or Pinkerbell Pixie, thank you for subscribing for 3 months, says, wow, Peter looks like poop. What happened? I don't know. I think he's been depressed recently or something. Morok says, I figured it out. Peter's hair reminds me of my brother's hair. Logarth says, RE can be open wounds or have skin tags or flaps. Marcus Drake says, people like Peter are why so many states have religious or cultural exemptions for child abuse claims. Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever said all this stuff. You know, my mother-in-law watches this, my brother watches this, I know some of my friends watch these videos.
I hope to everything good in this universe that some of his family or friends see this, like he says they will. I have an intervention? I don't know at this point what would help, but this escalation, it's not good.
And it does take some courage to talk about this, but I'm confident in releasing all this information now, even if people think I'm crazy, because I think that it'll help people who have been abducted also have the bravery to speak up about it. And also, it's also healing for me. I don't think any of my friends or family believed me when I said these things, and it's difficult for you to be abducted. A lot of people, everyone I know who's been abducted, or I don't know anyone, but like people I've watched on videos and stuff, they always have anxiety, chronic anxiety. They're worried they're gonna be abducted every night. They have PTSD. I have all these things as well from these abduction experiences, and no one really believes me, which is the toughest thing, because I mean, I've told these to people and they're just like, oh, okay. And my dad made a joke the other day, oh, did they sexually assault you, the aliens? And I'm just like, that's a bit insensitive, because
It is. That's a messed up joke to make to, like, anyone ever. Peter's dad sounds like a dick. I just got your message, Kat. I'm doing the gift sub that I owe you. There you go. Should have it now. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not going to make fun of Peter's anxiety about this. Why would I? Even though I think he's wrong about his interpretation of these events. He doesn't. So his anxiety and PTSD, if that is in fact what's going on with him, are very real to him, even if they're based on misunderstandings of events. Dreams and nightmares and delusions can mess with you, can induce anxiety, can induce stuff like PTSD, or at the very least trigger it if it's something that's already underlying. So, yeah, I feel sorry for Peter on this count. I would never make fun of that, because it's serious, and that's a shame. I feel bad for him. And his dad sounds like a dick. Mike Mack says it's sad. Peter is just a father finding a cure and putting the blame on others. I don't know. Peter is a pretty tragic figure.
I have a lot of anxiety and fear over these experiences. Someone mentioned in the comments, like, have you considered doing, regression therapy? And I have strongly considered doing. I'd have to fly to California and go to this regression therapist.
Peter, I don't know if Peter watches these, but if Peter is actually watching this, don't do the regression therapy. It'll hurt you. It will. Because there's this, oh gosh, what's it called? There's a phenomena in these regression therapy circles where they'll, like, hypnotize you and put you under and try and lead you through these experiences. And what's happening is they're basically programming false memories in you. And it'll just make things worse, Peter. It's just going to make your delusions about this more vivid, more anxiety-inducing, more triggering to you. It's going to create a whole new list of experiences that didn't happen, but you will believe that they happened. It's going to be bad. This happened under Satanic Panic as well. There were therapists who would bring in children, and then through suggestion and sort of like egging them on, create false memories in them of all these, like, satanic rituals that never happened. It's really sad. This is a documented phenomena, which is why this sort of therapy is typically looked down on by the therapy community at this point, just because it's wrought with the peril of, again, programming false memories in someone or having them remember something incorrectly, inducing trauma accidentally by making people think certain things happened that didn't actually happen. It's terrible. So don't do it, Peter, please.
Who helps people who've been abducted, and they actually can recall a lot of what happened. Like, these memories are deleted in my head. If I went there and did this hypnosis, I would be able to, it's called regression therapy, I could recall a lot of the memories. But right now I'm leaning towards not doing it because
good.
If I do regression therapy and I see these aliens, it's very uncomfortable for me, and I'm honestly scared to see their faces. If they're good aliens, like, you know, handsome, attractive aliens, I might be comfortable with it. But like, what about the evil aliens? What happens if I see them and then I'm scared for life, you know, that they're gonna abduct me again? Like, I'm already scared and anxious enough, and I will go to sleep like thinking every night, like, oh, like last night I slept like 6 hours straight without waking up. When stuff like that happens, I'm like, was I abducted again? Because I don't sleep through the night.
So this is heartbreaking listening to him talk about this. Mike Mack says, so a lying detector for therapy, and Color Miami says, wow, Peter, don't ugly shame the aliens.
Wake up like every 2-3 hours. So if I sleep for like long periods of time, like 6 hours, I'm like, which happens rarely. That's happened like, sleeping 6 hours straight has happened maybe like 5 times in the last 7 years or something.
Again, points to insomnia, which can exacerbate your chances of having sleep paralysis incidents, so.
Like that. But, you know, it's difficult to talk about these things. It's difficult when people don't believe you. It's difficult when people make fun of you. I hope that you guys in the comment section can explain all these things to me in a way that makes sense, that they're not aliens. I would like these not to be alien experiences. I don't want to be abducted. I don't like it. I do not consent to these experiences. Sometimes I like to fantasize and think like, oh, I have superpowers and I'm a special person. That's why they're abducting me, and I'm very important and no harm could ever happen to me because I am an important experiment. I like to think these beliefs because what's the alternative for me to think? That I'm a useless lab rat that's being experimented on like a piece of cattle?
Again, this is really, really sad. So, Peter, you say that you want to not believe that they're aliens. Excellent news, Peter. These are not alien experiences. I know to you they feel like they are, and I'm not trying to take that away from you. Because I understand to you they feel 100% real. I acknowledge that. But the reality is, these experiences, more likely than not, are the result of a variety of issues from, again, sleep paralysis to, in the case of the guy who took you up on the roof, potentially being drugged, which is not okay of him to do. I would highly recommend you seek out professional help from this, from a real licensed counselor, therapist, or psychologist. They can help you with this. They could probably give you tips on mitigating the chances of sleep paralysis events, perhaps even getting you on some sort of medication. And Peter, I know you think marijuana is the cure for everything, but please, in this case, just listen and hear me out. I hear you out, and I know I laugh at some of the things you say, but I'm trying to be genuine here and help you. Talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor, figure out if there's something they can do to help you with these potential sleep paralysis events, which you can talk to them about. You can talk to them about your experiences. They will listen to you. They're not going to mock you. That's their entire job, is to listen and be understanding. And then maybe they can help deal with some of the issues going into these events. and maybe even, again, get you some medication that could help you sleep through the night. If you help your insomnia, you might be able to help, again, mitigate or even stop the sleep paralysis events from happening to you. Even if you don't believe me, Peter, even if you're still adamant that these are alien abduction experiences, what do you have to lose by trying to do something to help this? Because if you're as anxious and scared as you say you are, and I believe you are, you sound genuine when you're talking about this, and I'm sorry, I really am, that you feel this way, then I think you'd want to try anything within your power to stop these things from happening to you. So, please, I would just highly recommend seeking out a licensed professional therapist out there who can help you with this. Give it a shot, 6 months, a year, something like that. See if there's any improvement, see if you can talk through some stuff with them, and I think you'll be a lot better off. But again, it's unsolicited advice. I understand that. If you did watch this, I at least appreciate you hearing me out. Thank you.
I don't want to think that I'm a lab rat that's being experimented on aliens without my consent, like I'm a little piece of meat. I don't want to think that. It could be true. So I make up these beliefs in my head that somehow I'm special because of these abductions. But who knows? But it's very difficult to talk about these things. It's very difficult when people don't believe you. You know, like, people who are abducted, they want to talk about these things. You can't just bottle all this stuff in. They want to release it. If you bottle it in, it's so much stress and anxiety. You need to tell people. But then when you tell people, everyone thinks you're crazy. Like, maybe one or two of my friends that I told this to actually believed me. But they never said, like, oh man, that must be tough for you, or are you okay? Are you dealing with PTSD? Like, I think a lot of people don't realize these experiences have a negative effect on your life.
I would agree with that. Some empathy can go a long way, even if you don't necessarily believe that the reason they're experiencing these feelings is the reason that they think, right? Again, I don't think Peter was abducted by aliens, but I can recognize that his psychological first-hand experience feels like that, and probably has induced trauma within him. And that's really sad, which is why I think he should seek out help to help him feel better, because I imagine it's incredibly difficult, especially in a case like this, where for him, he feels like he was abducted by aliens and all these things were done to him. He feels his agency has been stripped away from him. And on top of that, it's this thing that no one's going to believe, right? For good reason in many, you know, because there's just not evidence that it is what he says it is. It's probably a sleep paralysis issue. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't meet him on his level in some way. You should still be able to recognize, okay, Peter, I'm sorry that you felt this way. I'm sorry that this happened to you, whatever this is. Let's see if we can help you deal with that trauma, regardless of the actual origin of it. I get that it's easy to laugh, and we've laughed at a lot of the stuff in this video. So if you think I'm a hypocrite for that, I understand. But while we have fun here, and we get amusement out of the more out there claims that Peter makes, he's a human being. He's a human being who is actually dealing with this anxiety, and he really, really needs help.
It turned into positive, be like, oh, I'm special, I'm protected, and I can help people with these abduction stories and stuff. But like, part of the reason that I make this video is I think that people need to be aware that this stuff's happening. And it's also cathartic for me to talk to people, even if it's strangers, because it's hard to go through these things by myself. People who are abducted kill themselves. They have extreme PTSD. It wreaks havoc on marriages. It's common for people who are abducted to get divorced because it creates so much stress in relationships. People leave churches, stop believing in God. I want to be someone who's an example that you can be abducted, you can be experimented on without your consent. These things can happen to you, and you can still believe in God, go to church, tithe, be married, not really let this affect your relationship with your spouse. Like my wife doesn't really believe in aliens.
Hydrate.
And I'm like, I tell her I'm abducted, and she just doesn't want to hear it, you know?
It's interesting that Peter's wife doesn't believe this stuff. I would have assumed he had, or she had, rather. I wonder how Peter's wife felt about not getting their daughter medical care when she presented with holes in her body.
So it's tough, but I think it's about time I told people everything I knew. And now it's out in the open, and then when I say, like, you know, I've been abducted by aliens, people are like, oh, he's referring to these things. Thank you for listening. If you want to help, maybe you can say something in the comment section, like, are you okay? Like, that's kind of what I've been craving to hear for so long. Like, people are saying, like, are you okay?
Peter, are you okay? You have my email.
How are you dealing with all this? Because it's hard. I like to take kratom and valerian and cannabis because they're anti-anxiety and they calm me down. And when I'm not on any natural anti-anxiety, I'm just in a state of anxiety all the time because I'm like, oh crap, am I a lab rat? Are they gonna take me again tonight? They gonna take my daughter? They gonna take my wife? What are they gonna do? So there's a lot of paranoia involved. Like I said, people don't really believe me, and that's okay. But I'm hoping someone will, and I hope that people who had these experiences can feel comfortable in knowing that.
See, here's the worrying thing to me. Again, it's good to empathize, and it's good to talk to Peter and be like, hey, I respect that you have this anxiety and trauma around these events, but I don't necessarily think it was aliens. People in his comments are enabling the alien belief. There's a lot of people in his comments that I read earlier that are saying that also happened to me, etc., etc., etc. Which is how people in these online communities can get further and further into these rabbit holes and echo chambers. I don't know. Just the fact that there are other people in his comments echoing his same sentiments is going to make him think, oh, I'm not alone, this must be real, it couldn't have been a dream, even though people often will have, you know, sleep paralysis and dreams based upon sort of cultural memes about certain things, demons, aliens, whatever. Morok with 100 bits says, I'm clinically insane. I've mentioned this a few times, but I struggle with differentiating reality from fiction. But I got help. I have medication and therapy now, and I'm getting better at not believing the lies my sick brain fabricates. Seeing Peter like this is so hard on me because I understand. I'm sorry, but I'm glad that you're helping manage that with therapy and medication.
They're not alone. This happens a lot. There's videos on Amazon, documentaries about people being abducted by aliens, really good documentaries, and that's helped me heal because I'm like, I'm not alone. This is a real phenomenon. It happens. My experiences are very normal, very consistent with other abduction experiences, and yeah. All right. Tomorrow I'm gonna do an AMA where you can ask me questions about politics or aliens or me or anything you want. I'm going to do it at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow's in Sunday. I'm going to do an AMA. If you want to ask me about my experience with aliens, or if you want to just talk to me about anything, politics, I'd like to connect with my viewers because I do enjoy having relationships with you guys, and I want to talk about aliens, I want to talk about politics, I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I just want to talk to people. I like talking to people, especially about things that I'm interested in. So even though I'm not okay with these experiences, even though they have harmed me, I do love the topic of aliens, and it's made me very passionate about it because at the end of the day, even if there's some bad experiences with aliens, a lot of that has stopped. The evil aliens abducting humans has stopped. And right now, the good aliens are in charge of helping Trump and save the world and do other things like that. So the good aliens and the good guys are really focusing on taking out and stopping these evil aliens from doing bad stuff to Earthlings and Earth. And I do believe this, and I think this is all going to come out in the next 2 years.
So again, a concept that's come up in Peter videos in the past, more so in the QAnon stuff, is Q as a coping mechanism. I've talked about this before too. Peter's sort of childlike view of the world, black and white, I think helps him cope with the complexity of the world and his place within it, because he doesn't really understand it very well. So, again, like I've said, Peter being, like, 32, living with his parents, not really... And again, I've, lots of respect for stay-at-home parents, but, like, Peter is a stay-at-home dad. He tried to have a business a while back that didn't take off, and he wound up in some debt because of that, along with some other issues that have happened to him. I think he's in a hard place, and I think he's looking for answers and solutions, easy ones. So, in order to fix his, like, living situation, a lot of these QAnon people will believe, well, why is my life not what I want it to be? Why don't I have this or that? Why aren't I as successful as I believe I should be? Society has promised me all this success, the American dream, etc., etc. Why isn't it happening? And instead of looking at structural issues in the country and, complex socioeconomic factors that have led to the immense income inequality and lack of opportunity for people, instead of that, because that's complicated and has a lot of shades of gray within it, Peter instead and a lot of other people opt for conspiracy theory that simplifies things down to black and white, good and evil. So he picks Donald Trump as the good guy, the protagonist of the story that's going to come and defeat the evil in the world. All bad things that have happened to Peter are due to this evil. The deep state, the cabal, the evil aliens. And now Donald Trump is going to come in and fix all that for him. Like that. He'll get his own house. His wife will believe him about aliens. All his friends and family will see the genius that is Peter. And on top of that, the aliens will be defeated because of Donald Trump and the good aliens, and he'll never have to worry about being abducted again. So it's this coping mechanism to take complex issues that he doesn't understand and simplify them down to his level. And coping mechanisms coping mechanisms in and of themselves are neutral. The idea of them. There are healthy coping mechanisms, and there are unhealthy coping mechanisms. This is an unhealthy coping mechanism because it keeps him from seeing the real root of his issues and how to solve those issues realistically in the real world, as opposed to this fantasy where someone else comes in on a white horse and saves him from all the issues that he deals with on a day-to-day basis. So, very, very interesting that Peter's whole life is now centered around a fantasy that all these issues, psychological and material, are going to be instantly solved by Donald Trump, stopping all earthly and intergalactic evil. Interesting. Gorham Reavers 1114, thank you for subscribing for 3 months. Says watching you stream to help with the frustration level while putting together my kid's bunk bed. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
So we're in for a roller coaster ride, and like I said, it's going to start on June 29th when the Pentagon declassifies all the information they have about UFOs. They're probably going to say something. They can't say aliens are real because it's too shocking, would shock the world. But they'll say something along the lines of these UFOs have incredible technology. It's not our technology, even though we have the best technology in the world for flight, and we don't know what they are. But really, they're implying they're aliens. Come on.
No, because, again, UFOs in the 1940s and 50s, often it turned out to be were experimental aircraft that were top secret. They weren't alien spacecraft. I would imagine a lot of UFOs nowadays, because UFOs are a thing in the literal sense. They are unidentified flying objects. Doesn't mean they're little green men. It means they're unidentified. Probably a mix of you know, experimental aircraft, camera malfunction stuff. I saw one that was clearly a bird once. Like, they're unidentified. That's what it means. Doesn't mean they're aliens. Aginated, thank you for continuing your gift sub and credibility problem. Thanks for extending your subscription through September. And Ramonster, thank you for subscribing.
Come on, let's be real here. You don't believe in aliens? Wait till the 29th of June. When
Ooh, the 29th of June is when they're gonna tell us aliens are real? Cool.
And the Pentagon says that there's these spaceships flying around all our planet very often, and they're not our human technology. Then you'll be like, well, is that really demons or the spirit world? Is that a dream? Is that hallucination? No, it's aliens.
Credibility problem. Thanks for gifting us up.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. I'm sorry if you don't want to hear about aliens. Probably shouldn't be in my channel.
Oh, Peter, I'm interested in whatever you have to say. Please continue. Color by Emmy says, I thought one of Elon's satellite launches was a UFO, but then I checked Twitter. Twitter does help.
Aliens and politics. Same topic right now.
He does believe Trump is coming back in August, so yes.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and stay safe out there.
Peter got such a better camera recently. Like, seriously, I borderline want to ask Peter, what camera did you buy? It's like a good camera. It's got that sort of, like, depth of field going on, but, like, you can still see him very clearly. Yeah. So that's Peter's most recent pre-recorded video. Very interesting, and also pretty concerning, if I'm being honest with you. But, yeah. I hope Peter gets the help he definitely needs. It's just a DSLR camera. I don't even know what DSLR means. DSLR. Digital single lens reflex camera is a digital camera that combines the optics and mechanisms of a single lens camera with digital imaging sensor. Oh, it's just like a Canon. I have one of those. It never worked very well, though. Maybe at some point I need to get a camera like that can hook up to the computer and I could use that for streams. Morok says, I'm depressed now, Hannah. I'm sorry. Zozo Horror Show, thank you for subscribing for 6 months. Bah, don't laugh at me. Your hobby is photography, not mine. Let's do a quick cleanse, and then I wanted to go through Peter's recent AMA stream. So let's find something to watch real quick. You ever seen this bird? I gotta find a song I like. Let me see if there's a different one, and then we'll...
This is Fredo. He is a... They turned Jack Black into a bird. What's this? Lauren Witzke says the wave of COVID-19 that swept through True News was a demonic attack on the network for having Milo Yiannopoulos on the program after Satan's favorite sodomite became ex-gay and a Christian. I don't think it's any coincidence that the True News crew all got deathly ill, got very sick, right after they had, they brought Milo onto their show.
Wait, which is it? Is COVID a hoax that has it's fine, or is it did they become deadly ill because of it? I get whiplash from how back and forth right-wingers have been on the severity of COVID lately. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, ever notice the thumbnail on Netflix for Deep Space Nine has O'Brien in it while all the others have the captain's picture? I call it whitewashing. Actually, not true. Netflix has different covers depending on your watch preferences. So if they're showing you the cover with O'Brien, it's because that's tuned to your viewing habits. I have a cover that I think has the entire cast. So.
And he shared his testimony.
You best explain what you mean by that. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, we have to remember that this is a spiritual battle as well. And our enemy retaliates. What this is, I believe, in my opinion, is that this was retaliation. We constantly battle demonic spirits, demonic attacks on ourselves, and we as Christians must stay equipped, but also we must continue to stay prayerful as, we walk into these times where the enemy, it seems like he has the upper hand, but it was no coincidence that Rick and his crew are in the situation that they're in because they stood for Christ and had, the spine to bring Milo on and share his platform and his testimony. Milo was somebody who belonged to the darkness. He was already Satan. He was Satan's favorite sodomite, wasn't he? And we took him back. Christ took him back.
He likes music and good jokes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let me see what my Deep Space Nine cover looks like. We're obviously not going to watch anything because that would be copyright infringement. I'm not doing that, but let's see what mine is. Oh, see, my Deep Space Nine cover is Quark. Oh, don't play that. Don't play anything. So, yeah, it just depends. Don't judge me based on the things I've watched. Yes, I watched Good Burger recently. I don't need your judgment, okay? Logarth says, we lost our cat of 15 years 6 months ago. We got a new kitten from the same bloodline breeder today after a 4-month wait. Aw.
Hello, baby girl. Hi. Hello, baby girl.
Big ears. Very cute. Parrot that sings Margaritaville. Cute. And Morok says, oh my god, read the Bible. Who sends the plagues? God does. My Lady of Darkness, Satan herself, is way too chill to send plagues. Alright. We got a little respite. Let's dive into Peter's AMA. This is a 2-hour-long live stream. I don't think we're going to sit here for 2 more hours and listen to Peter. But who knows? We'll probably skip through at some point, but let's check it out.
Very excited about. Trump straight up said that he's going to get the White House back, and sooner than you think. So this confirms what I've been saying, that Trump is going to be president this year, guys.
Trump has both implied that he wants to become the Speaker of the House and the president again, which you can't do. So,
not only did he say that something has to be done before 2022, he's also said we're getting the White House back, and we're getting it sooner than you think. And sooner than you think sounds to me like not 2024.
Again, Peter's entire worldview is based upon the fact that he thinks Donald Trump is infallible and doesn't lie and is never wrong. So
sounds like literally, because a lot of people are thinking 2024. So when he says sooner than you think, sounds to me a lot like he'll be back this year, especially since he said something big has to happen this year. So this is the big year. He's confirming what I've been saying for months, which is we can trust that he's going to be here. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining. Introduce your wife to us. I'm open to it, Tim, but my wife is... She wants this to be a purely political channel. I used to have videos of me and my daughters and my wife up, and she's like, why don't you just focus on politics? I'll ask her, though.
Oh. This is so sad. Peter, you need to focus on your family. And I'm sure you spend a lot of time... You're a stay-at-home dad. I get that. But, like, I'm kind of afraid all this QAnon alien stuff is going to pull you and your family apart. And I don't necessarily want that. Your kids... No, I'm not going to say that. That would be mean. Never mind. Peter, I get the distinct impression that your wife is not thrilled with what you do. At least based on your comments about what she said about it.
Right now, she's taking the girls to the beach. Hi, Getter9. I appreciate your comments. Thanks for joining me. What does your wife think of your most outlandish ideas? This is kind of what she thinks. Eye roll. I mean, I've said so many things that she's just kind of like, whatever. He can think whatever he wants, but slowly a lot of the stuff that I've been saying has been proven to be correct. So now, you know, when I said Trump would be...
Wait, what stuff do you think has been proven correct, Peter? Because so far, none of your claims have come true.
President this year, she's like, oh, that's crazy. And even believing in Mr. 17, she thought was crazy. But now all this evidence has come out that, you know, the 17 group is real. Trump's come back this year. So now she's like, oh, maybe Peter's onto something. So you guys have any other questions?
Like, Peter should... I agree. He should be at the beach with his family. Peter, why did you do that? You could have done the live stream later in the day. Go to the beach with your family, Peter. Don't spend your day talking to these QAnon believers on the internet. Go, touch sand, okay? Be with your family. Be with your wife. Love them. Spend quality time.
I'm doing good, Zora. I really appreciate it. There's 27 people here live. Honestly, I'm very humbled. I feel very honored you guys are spending your time with me. I'm just a new YouTuber, and I really appreciate that you guys, you know, value my content and you want to spend your Sunday afternoon with me. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I did drop a very heavy video late last night about my experiences with aliens. Wade Lau says, how many aliens do you think have currently infiltrated the U.S. government? Wade, you have to specify on species or specific people, aliens, because...
Which species of aliens are there, Peter?
I think that the reptilians have had the biggest infiltration in the government, and I think it's possible that some of our politicians could also be aliens.
That's untrue. Almost all of our reptilian agents are in the entertainment industry. The government is mostly the lava people.
Aliens, I'm open to the possibility. Who knows for sure, but I definitely see the fingerprints of aliens all over our politics. Like, for example, Planned Parenthood is really not about women's choice. It's about sacrificing, killing babies. And
no.
And the reason Planned Parenthood exists is because a lot of these babies are used for really bad stuff. And when you kill a baby, there's this alien or interdimensional being or demon or whatever you want to call it that feeds off that horror of killing a baby. So Planned Parenthood is a lot about...
There's like a Cthulhu-like being that demands abortion. Honestly, that's a good, arrangement, to be entirely honest. Women out there who don't want their pregnancy to go to term, and then there's an old one out there who also, feeds off that. Great. We get women's choice, and we get to stave off the end of the world created by, I guess, fetus-eating Cthulhu old one bullshit. I don't know. Bumble Homestead says, oh, the lizard people are in entertainment industry because they like the stage lights. You got us. You got us.
About satisfying the evil desires of an evil alien. So there's all over politics, like even cannabis being illegal, that was the Rockefellers being controlled by the Rothschilds, being controlled by the reptiles.
What? Peter, what about the war on drugs? What about Ronald Reagan? Who, by the way, again, Ronald Reagan was big on the war on drugs and was also personal friends with Donald Trump. So, what? What?
Who didn't want humanity to heal themselves, so...
Andrew Batella says, I don't care what the reptilians say, Stan is not a hologram.
They push pharmaceuticals that are made from oil, which obviously are very harmful, have harmful side effects.
Peter, your recommendation for medicine is CBD oil? CBD oil? Hello?
What do you think of Juan Sabin? Great question, Dennis. I was open to Juan Sabin, but my ultimate source of information other than Trump is Majestic 12 right now. And I think I can pull it up over here, but they asked Majestic 12 a lot of questions like, is Juan Sabin...
By the way, Peter, recommendation for your future streams. Camera. You want to put it above you, or at least at eye level. A downward angle up at you tends to not look very good. So either right on, but that's not very interesting. So a little bit of a height can make it look better. I'm just a technical thing. Tea with Goblins. Maybe the real reptilians were the racist Republicans we punched along the way.
And a trustworthy individual. And Majestic 12, I have a picture of it somewhere here. Majestic 12, I'm going to try to pull it up right now. They said that 107 is either a shill or a disinformation agent. Let's see if one is a shill. Let's see how I can pull that up so you guys can see. So that is my ultimate source of information right now. How do I add this thing? Share screen. Share this screen. Share. All right. So this is a post about someone asked, Doc Gomez asked Majestic 12, which is a 100% legitimate source. Majestic 12 posts in the chat section as ISBs. And they asked, so this is legitimately a credible source, and they asked...
Why do you think it's a credible source, Peter? Claiming something is a credible source doesn't make it a credible source.
Majestic 12, is 107 a shill, which means a liar who pushes disinformation to make money? And Majestic 12 said yes. Actually, Majestic 12 has called out a lot of people. They've called out Ghost Ezra, which I want to make a video about because they called out Ghost Ezra as being a shill.
I at least appreciate that because Ghost Ezra was the guy who was pushing the flat earth stuff along with the Q stuff that Peter was questioning, like, I don't know, does that mean the flat earth stuff is real? So Peter, for a second, maybe was about to go the direction of the flat earth stuff. But at least this bullshit Majestic 12 people have steered him off that course, even though they are steering him still towards Q delusional stuff, which isn't good either, but I'll take every win, even if it's a little win. eTune2350 says, I want to feel worse for Peter, but then he spouts stuff like that. I know.
And Ghost Ezra actually retaliated. I asked Majestic 12, hey, is Ghost Ezra, a disinformation agent? And let me pull that up as well. And Ghost Ezra said, I asked Majestic 12, Ghost Ezra, is he a disinformation agent? And they said yes. Ghost Ezra replies, and no, that's the wrong one. Majestic 12. Sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit. But basically, I'll pull it up in a second.
Ooh, Peter's desktop. Can we see anything? It's too blurry.
Second.
I was hoping we could see his VOR folder.
Ghost Ezra was called out by Majestic 12 as being, here it is. I said, is Ghost Ezra trustworthy, even though he pushes a flat earth theory? Majestic 12 said no. I said, is Ghost Ezra a disinformation agent? And Majestic 12 said yes. So someone shared these questions to Ghost Ezra, and Ghost Ezra actually they've replied, and I think this is the one. No, is that not the one? They replied, and Ghost Ezra said that, here it is. No, that's the wrong one. Oh man, I should be more organized. Is this it? No. Where is it? Ghost Ezra replies to Majestic 12. This has to be it. So, there we go. Shelby Kunz asks, according to Majestic 12, and then I assume the rest of the question is, this person was asking Ghost Ezra about Majestic 12, and they said, according to Majestic 12, Ghost Ezra is a, disinformation agent. I'm assuming that's what the question was. I couldn't find the specific question, but assuming that's what it was. And Ghost Ezra, which has 50,000 followers on Telegram, said, according to Ghost, Majestic 12 is CIA propaganda. So you have.
See, this is an interesting phenomenon that's happening within the Q community right now, too. Because, again, Q, who is, what's his name? Ron and Jim Watkins, most likely. They stopped posting, and the last Q drop, I believe, was in December. It was early January, I want to say. So we're like 6 months out from the last Q drop. And Q used to post almost daily, and many times he would post like 4 or 5 times in a day. So this was prolific in terms of posting, and now it's been 6 months since the last Q post. So the organization of it was basically Q at the top, Ron and Jim Watkins, and then under that would be Q would drop crumbs, is what the community would call them, and then there'd be what are called bakers. Bakers are sort of the various Q influencers who look at the Q drops and try and connect the dots, so to speak, and decipher them, and then they will then talk to their audience and tell them what they believe. So now that Q is gone and there's not really like crumbs or whatever to look at, they sort of are looking for their own stuff, like analyzing stuff Mike Lindell says, or Steve Bannon, or Trump himself, and trying to analyze his speech. Peter was trying to do this on some level too. Peter's kind of trying to be a baker at this point. But either way, the point sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. ADHD is acting up. So at this point, because there's no person at the top anymore, Q has disappeared. The bakers and the various Q influencers have started to sort of butt heads over control over the Q community, or the Q-munity, whatever you want to call it. They're all trying to be the new top dog. They're all trying to fill that power vacuum and be the voice of the community. So they'll get in little spats like this to try and call each other shills or whatever because their beliefs or their particular conspiratorial interpretations don't match up with each other. So they have to justify that by saying, well, they're a shill. No, you're a shill. It's the Spider-Men pointing at each other meme, but conspiratorial. It's pretty interesting. Do I think Peter avoided the beach because he's afraid of Atlanteans? He probably thinks Atlanteans are aliens or demons or something. I don't know.
I have two of the biggest information, I guess you can say, entities on Telegram, and they're fighting. They're calling each other CIA disinformation agents, and I feel proud because I started that. I'm the one that asked Majestic 12, is Ghost Ezra disinformation agent? And then Ghost Ezra replied, no, Majestic 12 is a CIA agent. So
Peach Tay says, you look great today. Thank you.
That's kind of exciting. It's one of my...
This is a very casual day for me. It's very hot and sweaty out, so I'm just basically in a ponytail and I'm moist. Thank you, though.
Proudest moments, to be honest. I'm like, yes, I started a fight between Majestic 12 and Ghost Ezra. And I'm also proud that Majestic 12 called Ghost Ezra out because I felt very uncomfortable with Ghost Ezra pushing the flat Earth theory. That was... let's see. This person is saying, how are you coping with the situation? Are you feeling all right? If you're talking about the alien abductions, I'm an optimist, so I have a bias. So I like to, as I've explained in my video, I like to believe happy thoughts about my abductions because I don't want to feel like I'm a lab rat, like I'm, being raped up there or doing stuff without my consent, which possibly is happening. They're doing stuff probably sometimes bad to me without my consent. But I like to think that maybe that means I'm special somehow, which could be totally in my head. But I feel like sometimes it's okay for me to lie to myself and say, oh, they're abducting me because I'm special. And then it helps me deal with it. And then I also take a lot of anti-anxiety medicine because without anti-anxiety medicine...
Reminder, the only medicine he thinks is medicine is marijuana. So when he says I take anti-anxiety medicine, he means I smoke weed and I take CBD. Morok says, given Peter lives in Pennsylvania, the beach is probably in reference to a lakeside beach, so no Atlanteans. And Von Tuck says, Q will go the way of the Tea Party. It injected its ideas into mainstream conservatism, so it's like the Tea Party. Its job is done. The GOP has absorbed. It's crazy. Yeah, basically.
I'm just a mess. I'm anxious all the time. I'm worried about being abducted. You know what, Juan? You've asked me a lot about this. I haven't got to it yet. What are your thoughts on Rachel J. Goode?
I'm sorry you're having a hard time, Sushi Mom. Thanks for showing up, though. I'm sorry that you've been having a rough time.
Could you be a little more specific about what you're asking, Juan? I know you asked me before to look into Russell J. Goode. I haven't had time. I've been really busy. Deborah Eagle says, do you feel different? Are you talking about the alien abductions, Deborah? Can you be a little more specific? Linda says, IRS, CIA, FBI, NAA, Interplace closing down, arrested and indicted. Definitely possible. Non-political question. For you, what is the greatest gift of being a dad? That is a great question. Thank you.
I heard this part of the video, and this next part is so human, what he says.
Thank you for asking. I think seeing my daughter grow and get smarter, and like just the other day, someone came up to me and was like, your daughter's very polite, she's very smart, she's very friendly and very sweet, she's very generous. And I think like those are my proudest moments when it's like it's not just me thinking that someone is good, it's someone who's telling me that, your daughter, she's a great person. I'd like to do this AMA for an hour, so please go ahead, ask any questions. Alien situation, do you feel a change? You mean, do I feel like they changed me? Because I do feel like the aliens did change me. Sorry. I do think that the good aliens, which abducted me at my university, I feel like they boosted my confidence because it was a very positive experience, and then had more confidence to pursue things in life that I didn't have before.
again, this is the experience he had where he was taken up on that roof and had that experience we talked about in the previous video. The one where I assumed he had been drugged by that guy. The fact that that experience, what he's describing afterwards, sort of the positivity and the confidence and stuff, that can happen after hallucinogenic trips, positive ones. So, once again, sounds like a drug trip to me. Star Spirilla, thank you for subscribing for 8 months. Ooh, almost a stream, baby.
But then when I was abducted by what I believe to be evil aliens, I felt extremely depressed, anxious, worried. It was like the lowest part of my life. It was very, very, very tough. And I feel like that made me a worse person. And I've recovered from that, but I feel like they did change me. And but I feel like in the end of the day, people can do whatever they want to me, or aliens can do whatever they want to me, but I can decide how to react to it. So I'm gonna just be like, I'm special, I'm wonderful, maybe because I have good genetics or something, or I don't know, superpowers. Like, I just go into fantasy land and pretend I'm somehow like a special person.
Well, that explains a lot of the QAnon stuff as well. I'm just saying, the same logic probably applies to that. Peter wants to feel better about his life, therefore he feels special in the sense that he sees all the clues that Donald Trump and Q and Majestic 13 or 12 or whatever it's called are sending out to him. He's special. He's one of the top 1% of people in the world for figuring out the conspiracy. Similar mentality.
And that in my fantasy land, that cheers me up. Thank you. I appreciate it. That is awesome, Peter. Your parental joy is the best. Thank you for that question. Regina says, you're a great father. God bless you all. God bless all of you. Thank you, Patriots. 45 people joining me. This is better than my last live show. Thank you so much for all joining me, like, on Sunday. Like, I'm really, really humbled and honored. Like, 45 people are actually paying attention to me on this Sunday afternoon. You guys could be doing a lot of things, but I love that my viewers are patriots and supporters, and especially, honestly...
Isn't it annoying how the word patriots has been completely ruined? Like, there are plenty of things about this country that I'd love to express pride about, but I can't be like, I'm patriotic, because then people assume I'm a weird Trump-supporting insurrectionist piece of shit.
What I really enjoy about my viewers, you guys, is you're very intelligent, and I learn a lot from you guys. I love discussing things I'm passionate about with people who are smart, and that is you, the audience. Honestly, I'm sure there are places where there are more intelligent audiences, but I haven't seen...
Like my chat.
YouTube channel with a more intelligent audience than my YouTube channel. I'm sure they exist, but like my...
Let's see the intelligence of Peter's YouTube audience. I was happy to hear your report on Pence. I'm glad I listened to AMA and will continue because a lot of my questions were answered. I'm still leery about Majestic 12, but keep an open mind. Are the UFOs seen on the news related to Majestic 12? Keep up your good, blessed work in Jesus' name. Geniuses. This person says, Peter, if you believe in God, you have no business believing in aliens. It's just like you believe in astrology, as an analogy. This person says that aliens are demons. Again, big brain takes from his chat.
I go through the comment section.
Von Tuck says, at this point, the American flag may as well be a hate symbol. I see private citizens flying one, and I feel slightly more nervous. Makes me a touch sad. Yeah, the type of people who openly fly an American flag nowadays, I'm not saying everyone, I'm sure there are people in this chat who do, but there's a correlation between that and, questionable people. Woohoo Lulu says, in this world, it's easy to feel insignificant. It's easy to get caught up in a group that tells you you're special and have the power to change the world. Yeah, that's how cults function.
I learned so much.
Hey, baby. Are you okay? Is your sister being mean? You look skittish. You okay?
much. So, did you see Trump's rally last night? You know what? I didn't. I'm extremely excited. Let me show you a clip that I saw from that. But one of the things, I'm not sure if this was from the rally. I think it might be, but I'm so looking forward to watching that rally. I don't have much time. Like after this, I'm gonna make a video.
Mike Mack says, I have one question for Peter. Peter, are you okay? Will you tell us that you're okay? Now, smooth criminal stuck in my head. There's a sound at the window that the alien struck you. A crescendo, Peter. He came into your apartment, left the bloodstains on the carpet, and then you ran into the bedroom. You were struck down. It was your doom. There, I read it. You're welcome. Kirthan says, speaking of the flag, my grandpa used to fly the American flag on a huge flagpole in the front of his yard. He's a blue blood Democrat and really patriotic. He hasn't flown it in a few years now. Yeah. Von Tuck says, I loved Trump's backward pants. Yeah, what was the deal with that? Hold on. Trump's pants. I know some people were saying he was wearing them backwards, but this thing says no. I saw a couple images. To me, it looked more like he's just wearing, like, a diaper or something. Which wouldn't... I mean, the guy's old. There are a lot of things to make fun of about Donald Trump. I wouldn't make fun of someone being incontinent. That's not something they control. He's an older guy. He's not healthy, so I'd get it. Kirthan says, speaking of the... oh, read that one already. Sorry.
Or at least try to make at least half a video. But I'm...
Want to try to have Cassia up on the desk? I can try.
Super psyched to watch Trump rallies, especially now when what he's saying is so critical for having a...
On the next Chud Watch, I need to cover Doomcock's breakdown. The other fandom menace type folks shit-talked him and he lost it and was crying on Twitter about it. Ooh, I'll have to check it out. Enlid says, I have the same feelings about the flag in the late Bush years. After Iraq, Katrina, the torture, Abu Ghraib, freedom fries and recession, when Obama was elected and there was that real feeling of hope again, it made seeing the flag a bit better. Let me see what Overlord. Let me see Doomcock's channel. What's he... which video? Does anyone have a link to the specific video? I'm going to try and get the kitty real quick, and then we'll continue. Oof. No luck with the kitty. Sorry. Querulous Artisans. Not to be dramatic, but I would die for Cassia. No, the kitty was on her cat tree, and I tried to grab her, and she really dug her claws into it. She did not want to be picked up, and she farted. And Cassia's farts smell like death. So, that was bad.
Positive impact on this information war. Like, I am stoked.
It's like a defense fart. It's like she knows how bad they are, and she was like, no, get away from me, fart.
To listen to that Trump rally. But let me pull up this guy. You guys are going to love this. Just give me 1 second here. By the way, Majestic 12 is doing an AMA right now, which is the most amazing thing in the whole world. Majestic 12, an organization of aliens that are helping Trump save the world, is asking you guys, or whoever wants, to ask them questions. And the fact that aliens right now, they're helping Trump save the world, are like, hey, You can ask us questions about life or anything you want.
You think Peter's boring? What is your standard for interesting?
Spirituality, what's going to happen in the future? Is this person safe? Is this person good or bad? They're doing the AMA right now and they haven't started answering, which means if you go to Telegram right now, let me share a screen here. Oh boy, I am such a nooblet when it comes to this streaming. Okay, come on, mouse, help me out here. So here we go. So Majestic 12 is doing an AMA. Let me remove this. Peter, are you excited for E3? Video games. I love video games. I always watch E3 and and that type of things. I stream it, but I don't have time to play video games anymore. But if you look down here, Majestic 12 is doing the AMA.
Sorry, I'm getting offered a guest spot on something that I gotta see. 11 p.m. UK time to Eastern. I gotta see when this would be. 11 p.m. UK. Oh, whoopsie. 6 p.m. Oh, that'll work. Okay. Sorry. I just had to answer this real quick. Sorry, I should have answered that off stream. I apologize. But once I read it, I was like, yeah, I should say yes to this. I'm trying to do more guest stuff, having people come on and going on to other people's stuff. I'm a bad marketer. I'm bad at marketing myself, but you know. H. Baird says, a lot of people in my neighborhood fly pride flags of various types during June. I live in Southern Virginia, so it makes me very happy. Makes me forget about the guy around the corner from me with a sign in his yard that is a picture of Trump with the words, "Miss me yet?" Whenever I see that shit, I'm like, no, I don't. Oh, I'm not going to say until we make solid plans. I don't think that's good to preemptively say stuff like that. Von Tuck says, aliens doing an AMA, did they write their own software to interface with our internet, or is a gray sitting at a folding table with a laptop? That's what I want to know.
If you go to the Telegram page, which is TS underscore SCI underscore magic 12, you can ask any question about life. Any question. I've asked 15 questions so far. I'm not sure if any were answered, but I asked a lot of questions about my alien abductions, why skin samples were taken from my daughter.
They weren't. Your daughter had a medical issue that you refused to get treated. Very different.
The evil aliens do to me, what do the good aliens do to me? Asked about a bunch of questions. I think the more questions I ask, in theory, more likely something will be answered. But if you guys have a crazy question about life or aliens or technology or cannabis or anything, most of your questions, especially big questions, can be answered by Majestic 12. I'm not sure, there are either dozens or hundreds of super intelligent aliens. They're going to have answers for your questions. So I definitely recommend this opportunity. Now, Majestic 12 does AMAs like every 3 days. So if you, there's not like, I'm not going to say this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, because since they've done like 5 AMAs in the last 15 days, there's probably going to be another opportunity to ask Majestic 12 a question. But I'm not going to...
Because if I'm the Men in Black, I have nothing better to do than to answer questions to idiots on the internet. Andrew Patella says, there's this common meme that aliens gave us Wi-Fi. No, Majestic 12 has had to reverse engineer TCP IP protocol, and they were wondering the whole time, who designed this piece of shit? That's got to be some IT cyber humor that I don't get.
Downplay it either. Here you have aliens that are saving Earth.
Imagine you have 2 dads, but they're Peter and Onision. Peter's way too old for Onision.
I don't know how many, but many of them were super brilliant, intelligent, and they're allowing you to ask them questions. Guys, don't miss out on this opportunity. Ask them whatever questions you have. All right, let me see what other questions you have. What makes you believe Majestic 12 are actually aliens? I've read all 13,000, I think 300 Majestic 12 tweets. They're my most vetted source. I've actually
vetted source.
12.
By vetted, he means he read them. Vetting means reading something uncritically.
More than I understand any other source. And Majestic 12 said that they are, at this point, that organization does not have any Earthlings. Majestic 12 actually started out as a group of Earthlings that were in charge of making sure that the information about aliens didn't come out too early in the, I think, 1950s. The Roswell crash happened, and the president at the time, I forget which one, set up Majestic 12 and said, your guys' charge is making sure that no one knows aliens exist, because the shock it would have to humanity would be very detrimental. We can't handle the truth of aliens right now.
See, I don't even understand that claim. Blackwing Hecty says, what did you miss? Oh, a bunch of crazy. So the idea of aliens existing is prevalent in pop culture. It is fucking pervasive. It's everywhere, right? If we came out tomorrow and the government was like, all right, you've been waiting for this one. Aliens exist. Here's the proof. And there was actual proof. Some people would have some existential issues, but I think it would be fine. I think overall people would be excited. There'd definitely be xenophobic pieces of shit out there, because there always are. But it's not that crazy. It's just not. I think most people would be like, oh wow, okay, really, okay, interesting. I'd be very interested to know more about them, but it wouldn't shock me. I don't know. It's like, humans have gone through this sort of thing before, right? Like, a relatively recent example, I guess, would be like when people in Europe discovered the New World. Like, oh, there's this whole other continent and completely different groups of people living on a different place and different... Like, it didn't destroy society. It destroyed the indigenous societies because of fucking colonialism. But, like, we're not getting into that. The point I'm trying to make is, it didn't break people's brains permanently to discover that their view of the universe was different, right? That happens all the time. Blackwing Hecty says, deadpan gasp, this is my shocked face. What? You wonder what your Majestic 12 persona would look like? It's like a fursona, but people who are really into Men in Black.
Majestic 12 started out with just humans who were making sure that aliens, the information of aliens being real didn't get out. And then over time, they were actually good people initially, Majestic 12, good Earthlings. And then eventually, aliens started coming to Majestic 12.
Our luck, it'd be Ferengi instead of Vulcans. Does Star Trek ever do what-if stories in the comics? Because I'd love to see a Star Trek what-if story where first contact happens with Zefram Cochrane, but it is Ferengi instead of Vulcans. That'd be super interesting.
And also evil people, and then Majestic 12 started doing a lot of very evil things. They became almost, I think, the most powerful organization in the world. They started doing horrible things, like helping human trafficking, doing horrible, evil things I don't really want to get into. But then, because it's an organization...
Ferengi were the Roswell aliens, specifically Quark, Nog, and... Why can't I remember his brother's name? His brother. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, as a cis-het male, the first thing I would ask about the aliens would be, can I put my thing in them? Very Captain Kirk of you. Blackwing Hecate says, Babylon 5 has a background gag that deals with a human suing a Grey for abducting his family. Rom, that's his name, thank you.
More good guys ended up in Majestic 12.
I think I don't remember that, because when I think Rom, I think of Rom Space Knight, and not Deep Space Nine.
Than bad guys. So the good guys, it's kind of like a democracy. They were able to vote on decisions and remove enough bad guys. And now, even though there's a few bad aliens in Majestic 12, they're mostly good guys, and they're helping with disclosure right now. So I love. Uncle Buck says, whoa, the aliens abducted your daughter too? That's too far. Well, let me show you this picture I have.
No. Again, the picture is literally that disease that someone else brought up, whose name I'm forgetting, but I gotta skip over that whole section because I can't show you that photo.
Besides me, give me a lot of feedback. Like, I also respect that because, you know, I do need feedback. I'm a new YouTuber. AMA, what did you major in college, or what is your favorite memory from college? I majored in psychology and business.
Oh my god! The irony hurts me physically. My spleen hurts.
This originally, and then
sacral dimple, that's what it's called. Thank you.
And I majored, and I started majoring in business and computer science, and then I just dropped out. Actually, I got kicked out.
Peter and I had the same major. Sad face.
Out of university for being caught with half a gram of cannabis. Actually spent $40,000 on a semester of university. And in the first 2 days, someone who was an absolute jerk tattletaled on me, sent the cops on me for half a gram of cannabis I was using for my pain, and they kicked me out of the university.
I think that's fucked up. I think that's fucked up.
After I paid them $40,000 for the semester. So, and I got sent to jail and then had to pay fines for jail. So
that's incredibly stupid, and they should have at least refunded your money. That's fucked up.
Imagine the stress that was. Like, I was being a very good person, being very nice to everyone at the university, and some guy just didn't like me for some reason, even though I was super kind. Everyone knew me as like super kind guy that loved people, was generous, never judged anyone. Anyway, I got sent to jail, had to pay some fines. That $40,000, I didn't get it back from university.
That's
got kicked.
fucked.
I was homeless. So that was rough. As for what's my favorite memory from college, it probably was hanging out with friends. I made some good friends in college, and like maybe my favorite memory was we, instead of going to these parties where people get drunk and dance and have sex and stuff like that, me and my
parties.
Friends decided to go outside middle of the night and plant tulips all over the campus, like tulip flowers. And I like that memory because I'm like, I don't know, it was just something different we were doing.
That's kind of cute. Mike Mack says, this reminds me of a Marvel comic when a group of multiple aliens came to Earth to warn humanity they were going to destroy the Earth to save the universe, and the Avengers had failed to save everyone. This was during the incursion when the multiverse was dying. In the comic, it showed people denying the alien, and it was calling it a conspiracy, and others were praying. Oh, God.
They go for the DNA is what some people said. I do think it could be a DNA thing. That's why they took information, skin samples from my daughter. As a sci-fi writer, I've come up with so many alien species I've completely lost count. They're probably all real. Like, from what I hear, it's like almost maybe even infinite.
The fictional alien species that you have come up with in your imagination are real because reasons.
What do you think the aliens' agenda is? That is an excellent question, Dennis. And I think the answer is thousands of aliens' agenda. I think, generally speaking, you have the reptilian agenda, which are being controlled by the AI, and their agenda.
Hey, we control the AI. The AI doesn't control us. How dare you?
Is actually to depopulate the Earth by 90%, and I think to the point where Earth only has 500 million slave humans, and
Peter, we have a super reptoid AI and robots. Why would we need human slaves? It's also pretty fucked up. You think we developed space travel and didn't get over slavery? Jesus Christ.
To turn Earth into a slave planet. And we were close to becoming a slave planet, actually, and the Cabal, with the help from orders of the Rothschilds, who were getting orders from the reptilians, who were getting orders from the AI, had planned on killing billions of people with vaccines.
No, we funded the Koch brothers and told them to help deregulate pollution and carbon emissions, actually.
And Trump tried to dodge this, but still a lot of people are going to die from these vaccines, unfortunately. But the evil agenda is to turn Earth into a slave planet, which is what generally evil aliens try to do. The good aliens' agendas are the ones that are helping Trump like Majestic 12, and they are staving us, preventing us from turning into a slave Earth. What type of alien technology do you think Trump currently has within the Space Force? Great question. What could these technologies do to help him take back control? I talked about this in one of my previous videos. At a minimum, he can track most, if not all, humans. And I hear there's these lasers they can shoot in people's brain and give them like brain cancer or maybe even heart attacks. So
again, Peter thinks the good guys, air quote, are shooting people in the brain with a cancer-causing laser. And they're the good guys.
Imagine you can track, if that's correct, and I'm pretty sure it is, you can track bad guys, and at any point, in theory, you could kill a bunch of them, no matter where they're hiding. And on top of that, I'm positive, because the technology does exist, alien technology does exist to read people's thoughts. So I imagine...
Source! Fucking source?
They're using these technologies to read the bad guys' thoughts and to counter their moves, as well as the quantum computer technology that the Space Force has, which allows people to go ahead and put in a bunch of strategic information to this quantum computer, and then they can say like, oh, if the cabal, you know, comes out with a vaccine and kill billions of people, what's the best counter that would...
I saw a statistic, I think it was today, that 97% of new cases of COVID are from unvaccinated people. Shock and awe. Surprised. Old enough to know better now says, got here late, just wanted to say, you look cute today, love the color red, thank you.
Produce the minimum amount of casualties. And so... And also you have like several spaceships. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like 50 to 100 spaceships that big and small that the Space Force has. Honestly, what you really need to win, it really is like advanced technology. Advanced technology trumps soldiers. And so Trump has this Space Force ET technology that trumps numbers in the end, and he can use it to win. Hi everyone, how you doing? Lyra Star. Your university drama sounds like a dark night of the soul.
Blackwing Hecty says,
that's amazing. Planting
today I
tulips at
learned
night
50
is a great
through 100,
memory. Yeah,
several.
thank you for asking. I guess as a felon,
Mike
you
Mack
can't vote.
says,
That
what
seems
about
unfair. Actually, I
Satan,
can vote.
Peter?
I'm not a felon. I think it was a misdemeanor, but I still had to pay like $3,000 after university just took $40,000 from me. But I can vote, and I'm pretty sure since it's happened in Iowa, if not by now, eventually that small cannabis charge will be expunged. It's the only thing I have on my record, and it's eventually going to disappear. I really want to answer all your questions, so if I go ahead and keep answering. If
we looked it up the other day, there are under 5,000 people in Space Force. Just for the record.
Had all this, why the constant
and
rise?
By contrast, I think we looked up Air Force numbers, and it's like, oh gosh, how many was it? It was like crazy. Let's look up just the Army. How many people are in the Army? Active duty Army personnel, about 500,000. National Guard, 330,000. Navy, 300,000. Air Force active duty, 300,000. And again, by comparison, Space Force has under 5,000 active duty members. And their job is basically to take care of satellites and stuff like that.
It doesn't make sense.
Currently,
what type of rise are you talking about, Alexander? Can you be a little more specific? Rise and bad stuff happening? If that were true, why didn't they use it to easily take out deep state actors, the heart attack beam? Great question, Alexander. Excellent, excellent question. The reason they haven't done a lot of stuff like arrest or kill bad guys yet is because it's crucial to Trump's plan to do everything 100% legally.
Freudian slip.
Do stuff illegally.
I need to legally kill people with my brain tumor heart attack laser, okay? It's very important that my military coup aided by aliens is completely 100% legal, obviously.
Then karmically, I guess, and also morally, they're stooping down to the bad guys' level where they do a bunch of legal stuff. So let's say there's a bad person like Hillary Clinton who deserves the death penalty.
Peter, what do you think Hillary Clinton deserves the death penalty for? Genuinely. I don't like Hillary Clinton either, but what do you think she deserves the death penalty for?
They can't just arrest her. They can't just execute her.
If she had committed crimes, they could. Yes, that's how the law works.
They have to bring her to court in Guantanamo Bay, and they have...
He has so much trouble saying Guantanamo. Guantanamo Bay, Peter.
To sentence her, and it has to go through the whole process. If they can't do everything, I'm sure the backup plan is to kill all these bad guys illegally. I think that is a backup plan. But right now, all these bad guys have to go to the court system. It can't be like in the movies where it's like, oh, there's a bad guy, boom, 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 dead, easy. If it was like that, we would have won a long time ago.
It's not like the movies. It's just that good aliens are fighting evil aliens and using their heart attack lasers to aid Donald Trump with his time machine to stop the deep state. It's not like a movie, though.
Again, for everyone who's joining me and joining me in this AMA, what are your thoughts on... I hope that answers your question, Alexander. Everything has to be done legally, and the courts are very corrupt. So, like, the only corrupt courts that are totally non-corrupt are the ones in Guantanamo Bay, the military tribunal.
He says tribunal's weird. Tribunals. The courts are corrupt. Donald Trump nominated a third of the current Supreme Court. He had some... Peter's entire reason for thinking the courts are corrupt, by the way, is because the failed election lawsuits. Vulpus Redtail, thanks for subscribing for 8 months, says, hello, Hannah. Hope you're having a good day and stream. My job has lifted mask wearing. If you have your Fauci ouchies, and I gotta say, it's kind of weird not wearing a mask after so long. I know, right? Isn't it? I still wear mine, just because why not? Better safe than sorry, at least for a while, but...
What are your thoughts on Mike Pence? I used to worship Mike Pence. I thought he was the coolest guy ever. But then I found out that he was a traitor and he was...
It's almost like your judgment is incredibly bad.
I'm not sure I can say this on YouTube, but let's just say he is deep state cabal, Satanist, fake Christian, and he's hurt children in horrible ways.
It's so funny to me that Mike Pence got on the whole Trump thing probably because he wanted to run for president himself in the future, and just by, you know, following his role in the election process in 2020, he's completely alienated himself from the voting base that he was depending on for his future presidential runs because he didn't steal an election for Donald Trump. Pretty funny. Dread Pirate Mick, thanks for subscribing with Prime with a for 6 months. Thank you.
So, he deserves the death penalty.
Yikerinos.
Unfortunately. And that's hard for me to say because I actually bought Mike Pence's daughter's book and I, like, loved Mike Pence, and then I found out the truth and I was like, dang it. Thought he was a good guy. But Trump chose Mike Pence to be his vice president because the reason that Trump hasn't done everything very fast is because, from my understanding, Obama pardoned thousands, if hundreds, either hundreds or thousands of criminals, including Mike Pence, including Hillary. Because when Trump became nominated as president...
Chaotic Kitten says, time to pack a bowl and have a puff. Enjoy.
Obama's like, oh crap, what do I do? How do I keep all my cronies protected? Pardon everyone. So now Trump legally, because all these people have been pardoned of all their crimes...
That's not even really how that works, Peter, because pardons don't apply to state-level crimes. So if they were doing the things you're claiming, they would still be on the hook for state charges. Mike Mack says, play stupid games, win stupid rewards. Also, who will win, Satan and his demons, or an army of aliens?
He legally cannot arrest them. He legally cannot put them through a trial.
Didn't Trump pardon a lot of people he knew? Yes. Yes, he did. Thanks for asking. I believe he pardoned, you know, Steve Bannon, Flynn, a bunch of people. His cronies who did illegal shit for him.
Can't even execute them. So people, like, what he did is he sent up a bunch of traps, and one of Mike Pence's traps
Stone, yep,
is to declare the election, declare Biden a winner in the election. And
Biden won the election, Peter. He got more votes and won the Electoral College.
As a result of doing that, he is committing a crime.
There were allegations of pardons For money, yes.
That deserves the death penalty. So Mike, it sounds crazy, but I'm pretty sure that Mike Pence became Trump's vice president because, you know, they're saying keep your friends close and your enemies closer. He kept Mike Pence close so he can go ahead and set him up for a trap, which worked well. And now Mike...
That doesn't make any sense, Peter. Sky Comet Fallen says, the irony of worshiping Trump, then saying this, and Mike Mack says, didn't Trump pardon a rapper? I think he did, yeah. I forget what the rapper's name was, but he was a Trump supporter. 73% of the level 1 hype train. Puka the Duka with 300 bits says, coming to the stream, late biddies, hype, thank you.
Mike Pence can go through a trial and be executed. Why does Trump support vaccinations if it's all about population control from the cabal? Great question, Dirt, and I'm going to let Majestic 12 answer that one. I'm going to pull it up. Majestic 12 just answered that, and they're the final say on what exactly is going on.
Why do you think that, Peter? Blackwing Hecty with 50 bits says, I have birds on my ears. What does that mean? Old enough to know better now. Thank you for gifting a sub. And Tea with Goblin says, choo choo hype train. Thanks for the bits. Level 1 complete.
So here it is. Majestic 12 answered that question, and I'm going to bring it up for you right now. Pardons are a matter of public record. Where is the mouse? Come on, mouse. Work with me here. So, Dirt, I'm going to bring up that question and answer it right now for you. So, I'm going to read this out. I was going to make a whole video about it. I think I still will, but notice how when Trump touts the vaccine, he always mentions time frame. This is very important. So apparently this was forwarded from We the Pepe, but Majestic 12 isn't endorsing it as being actually accurate.
Zero
if it wasn't for Operation Warp Speed, then we would not be reopening at the rate we are. We'd be in eternal lockdown 5 to 10 years or more. That was the plan for the Great Reset. The Great Reset is a plan to take over the monetary system and make everyone even worse debt slaves. Not to mention, it would be absolutely mandatory for everyone. True, if the vaccines went through a longer process to be FDA approved, and FDA approved vaccines can be
they got FDA approval. They got emergency FDA approval, and right now they're going through the normal FDA approval process. Peter, you don't know what you're talking about. Blackwing Hecty says, Hannah, you look very groovy today. Thank you.
Mandatory for everyone, but if you it's not FDA approved, then you can't mandate vaccines.
That's literally not how anything works. And again, to repeat, it was FDA approved. It got emergency FDA approval. It went through trials. Millions upon millions of people have had the vaccine for months. I have the vaccine. I'm fine, Peter. Kirthan says, on Wednesday, my fiance and I are taking our first day trip since the pandemic started. Thanks, science. Dinosaur Museum, here we come. Fun. Morok Ben Eoth says, obligatory reminder that most alien theories are horribly racist since they assume that non-white civilizations couldn't have been smart enough to develop things like pyramids. Ah, the ancient aliens thing. Chaotic Kitten says, I'm baked. I mean back. Welcome back.
So we got ahead of their evil plans for massive death and depopulation. Originally, the COVID was supposed to kill a lot of people, and then as a result, depopulate the planet down to the 500 million level. The vaccines were originally planned to do that. That was a big weapon against humanity that the cabal planned for. Operation War.
Or, alternative, it's a vaccine to keep you from getting a disease. I'm going to go with that one. Blackwing Hecate says, I wish I had the same side effects that Abigail Thorne got.
Warp Speed made sure that it was an FDA emergency use authorization while Trump was still president, thus ensuring it would not be mandatory when he left. That's why he says we saved so many lives. He has to continue to toe the vaccine line.
He got the vaccine, and so did his family, Peter.
It's actually pretty brilliant. Think about it. I have said basically this in other videos. Trump had no choice, and unfortunately, even though the
minute and a half left on the level 2 hype train
are killing people, strategically, Trump does have to promote them in a sense and say, go get your shot. Oh, I saved lives with the vaccines. Unfortunate, but
how would that strategically make any sense if it's going to kill you? That doesn't track. Mike Mack says go to 527 on this video. 527. 27.
My definition.
Oh yeah, the dad trying to convince his kid not to get the vaccine. I remember this. I saw this. It's actually sad. Chaotic Kitten, the last of my biddies. Thanks for the bits. Well, a little under a minute left in the hype train, and we're at 65%. Don't let the dream die.
The vaccine.
Then what is it?
It is a human trial. It is genetic therapy. It's not a vaccine.
It's not genetic therapy.
It doesn't fall under the category of a vaccine. It's not FDA approved.
It is FDA approved. Vulpus Redtail says, I got to see the first-hand how sovereign citizens and QAnon digs its claws into those with mental health issues. One of my roommate's friends came over and was trying to teach us sovereign citizen stuff. It's really sad. Oh, that's a shame. Chaotic Kitten with 50 bits and Blackwing Hecate says, I dreamed a dream of time gone by.
Why are you trying to buy me off with it, though?
Because I love you. Why do you think I want to buy you off?
I don't want money, though. Like,
I know you don't, but I don't know what else to do.
you didn't do this to Michael and Kelsey. They already got it.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I know that? Why do you think I'm crazy? Your mother got it. Why do you think I'm crazy? My family is gone. My family is gone. By the end of this flu season, most of you will be dead. What the do you expect me to be?
Okay, so this gentleman is demanding a...
Yeah, that is very sad. Again. Conspiracy theories prey on people and give them all sorts of anxieties that they don't need to have. Woohoo Lulu, thanks for 100 bits. Logarth says, take my money. Get vaccinated anyway. Thank you. Mike Mack says, now this is Schadenfreude.
You know what? Most of the people that are getting vaccines, not all, most of them are people who are atheists, people who've done bad stuff, people...
What? Like 50% of the population has been vaccinated at this point, Peter, in the United States. Most people in the United States are not atheists.
Who, if they died, the Earth might be a better place.
Again, and Peter's mad at me for talking about how he, like, wants his enemies, political enemies, to die, and here he is directly saying, well, the world might be a better place if all those non-Christians died. Like, what the fuck, Peter? That's fucked up. How little could you possibly care about your fellow man?
Haven't even eaten lunch here. Excuse me for eating some food. I'm starving. Haven't eaten in hours. Linda says, if I can bring it over. Linda says, Clinton was executed in 2018, Pence executed in 2020. It's definitely possible.
How weird that Hillary Clinton's been seen in public since then.
I have heard.
And so is Pence.
Heard of body doubles, clones, and taking place of these people.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm in the middle of a live
clones.
stream. I can't help you. I can't help you, Mom.
Don't help me.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this here.
Oh, okay. This is my mom. I'm sorry. I'm live right now.
Oh, are you doing one of your little live streams, son? Are you talking about the aliens? Jesus. Mike Max says, Peter, how dare our can threaten me? Also, people I don't like must die. How dare our can threaten me?
Thank you.
Okay. My mom met this person at church, and she wanted to hear all this positive stuff about my YouTube channel and how Trump's going to come back. So she's giving me her email address. Sorry for the interruption there. Most people will not die from vaccines. This is true, but unfortunately, Majestic 12 said that less than 9% of Earth's population will die from the vaccines. I hope they're wrong, but I calculated that at around 600 to 700 million people could die from these vaccines. So again, Trump lies, but only kills the bad ones. I think this is, I think sometimes Trump has to lie strategically. Remember,
bear in mind, Peter has said in the past that Trump has never lied, so he's contradicting himself here.
Trump's goal in all this war is not to be the most truthful person, although he is extremely truthful. His goal is to save Earth
and fight and win this war with the minimum amount of casualties as possible. And sometimes lying minimizes casualties. Like when Trump said, oh, the coronavirus thing will be done by April and it'll be over very soon.
Mike Max says, Peter, how dare your fans threaten me? Also, Peter, people I don't like must die.
He knew that was a lie, but he had to keep everything calm. He had to come out with vaccines to reopen the economy, because if the economy falls, then the United States falls, the U.S. military falls, China takes over, they become the superpower of the world, they put in their cabal agenda, and then we're all screwed. Trump has no control over pharma. I don't know how much control, but he has been fighting them. Big Pharma is extremely powerful. I heard that Big Pharma actually sent some like poison envelopes. They tried to kill Melania, unfortunately. 250 million may die. I hope it.
Does Peter think that the president and the first lady open their own mail and it doesn't get inspected?
Hope it's only like the 1 or 2,000 that's happened so far. Trump is fighting Big Pharma. One of the things Trump did to fight Big Pharma is he lowered the price of a lot of pharmaceuticals, and he also set up this system where hospitals had to put the price of all their procedures online, and competition would bring down prices.
That's incredibly stupid. I hate when people bring this up. Peter, if you have an emergency, you don't shop around for a hospital. You go to the nearest one because it's an emergency, you stupid asshole.
I'm not sure if that's actually been stopped by Biden. I think it has, but Trump is fighting Big Pharma. It's very hard. But the priority right now is just to save the earth from these lockdowns, which would destroy economies, make everyone weak, and then they would...
Peter, then get the vaccine.
Do a power grab and take over. Alexander says, but before today you said he never lied. I was just confused because it can't be both.
Oh, someone calling him out on the contradiction.
I'm not sure if I said he never lied.
You did. You said that explicitly.
If I did, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Or if I did, I meant that he's not lying.
I wasn't wrong. I meant okay, sure.
Lying in a malicious way. Most of the time, Trump does tell the truth. I think I've made statements like when Trump makes predictions for the future, like, oh, we're gonna win or this is gonna happen, that he is telling the truth. But unfortunately, with certain things, he has to lie. So if
I think he was taken aback by that question. I don't think he expected to be called out on his contradiction there.
If I said he never lied, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That is incorrect. Sometimes he just has to lie. Trump said COVID would end soon because he was counting on hydrochloroquine. Fauci shut down hydrochloroquine.
Oh my God, Peter. It doesn't work, you stupid asshole.
Quinn completely, so, what can you do? And
he's a doctor!
Chloroquine is an amazing medicine, I'm sure.
Well, tell me about it, Peter. Tell me literally anything about it, other than the fact that you know Donald Trump talked about it once.
This video can get taken down just because I said that.
Do you need to be ready to leave the country in August when Trump returns? No, because that's not going to happen.
Hopefully it stays up. $7 million stimulus for each American. Can you be a little more specific? MedBed's coming in June, and hospitals will free everyone from toxic vaccines, medicine, poison, the air, chemtrails, water, and ground supply by cabal deep state.
Again, med beds, they believe, are basically alien technology or futuristic technology that you, lay in this med bed and it'll cure you of any disease or issue you're having medically. Again, taking complex issues and trying to make them as simple as possible. You have a disease? Lay in this bed. Cured. Thank you, Trump. Trump will solve all our problems. Blackwing Hecty says, I can tell you one thing about hydrochloroquine. It contains hydrogen and chlorine. I think it's hydroxychloroquine.
Majestic 12 was asked about medbeds. I don't have its answer saved, but they said that medbeds are not coming this year. But I think they implied medbeds are coming next year. And I'm very excited for medbeds. They're real. Majestic 12 confirmed them, and they can do they can.
These are the same people that vote against things like universal health care, by the way. Yay, free medical care through magic sci-fi technology. Wait, you want to provide medical care to everyone? No, I don't like that, because AOC said it, or Bernie Sanders said it.
Absolutely do some amazing healing. In your opinion, which politicians have been taken out and replaced by alien clones? I'm not sure if they were replaced by alien clones. Maybe just human body doubles. If I were to guess off the bat, definitely Hillary Clinton and Biden.
Can med beds transition people? You know what? If they can, I'm on board. Vast Lunacy said, I can't wait for the new update to Earth when they reveal the med beds.
The Biden from the past and the current Biden look
Blackwing
completely
Haggerty
different.
says gender-wise, not between alive and dead. Oh, I know what you meant.
Completely different, so I don't think that those are the original. So I'm going to take a little bite here. Hydrocoin over counter is Placino. I didn't know that, Regina. Is that true? Did you guys hear that? That is crazy. I'd love to get some Plaquenil. I'd stock up on hydrochloroquine if I want to. If I want to protect my family. Janelle says, Peter, somebody hacked my account. If you see any weird messages, you know, like you. Okay, thanks for sharing, Janelle. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, Regina. That is important information. I'm going to look that up. Plaquenil. But honestly, like pharmaceuticals and healing and health and stuff.
Jesus Christ, is he going to start taking medication he shouldn't be taking because Donald Trump said a thing once?
Stuff like that is so much, not kind of a no-no on YouTube. Thanks for teaching us how to make CBD oil. I appreciate that comment because I'm really trying to help you guys, and I'm glad that you appreciate it. My channel, right now it's not making enough money, so right now it's a passion project, and what I'm very passionate about is helping people. So the fact that I'm helping people is like means a lot to me. With all the stress that happens in my life, I feel blessed that I can actually help people. I mean, it's a big deal. Thank you all 59 people who are joining me. God bless you, Patriots. Thank you for spending your Saturday. This is my biggest live stream on this new YouTube channel, so thank you for being here. JFK Jr. is our new vice president with Trump. Possibly. It's possibly. A lot of people have talked about that.
He thinks JFK Jr. faked his own death in the 90s.
I definitely consider that. JFK Jr. alive? You know what? I think JFK Jr. is alive. I do think he's alive. I'm like 90% sure. They asked if JFK Jr. was alive to me. That's like 12, and I forgot what the answer was. I should have remembered it. Usually when it's very emotional, interesting thing, I remember it. That sucks, Janelle. Sorry to hear about that. Linda here could really benefit from something like this. Linda, don't make... I'm not sure what false promises she's saying. Hit the like button. Thank you. Yes, hit the like button, share. Thank you for joining me. Candace Owens VP, that'd be amazing. I love Candace Owens.
Give me a second, I gotta go vomit.
She is, I mean, I'll put it this way. She's my favorite black female.
What the fuck? What? Yikes.
In the whole world. I just love, she's so smart and she's having such a positive impact in the world. She would be a killer VP. I would love it. And it's funny how, like, one of the first...
Blackwing Hecty says, she's his favorite black what? Logarth says, oh, satire's finally dead. Peter killed it.
First questions Candace Owens asked Trump when she interviewed him was, so something like, you're going to run and I can be your vice president?
Yikes.
And I was like, dang,
yikes indeed,
Owen, you're confident. And that is pretty awesome. And he just chuckled. He's like, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. What do I do for fun? This. You guys are my fun. Because this project, this channel is my passion, and you guys, you're making things fun for me because you're smart, and I learned from you. What other things do I do for fun? Once I put the girls to sleep, I watch like cooking shows or fantasy magic shows with my wife late at night. I go on, I guess, mini dates where I just Netflix and chill, as I guess you could say, with my wife. So I watch some Netflix. I love cooking shows. I love video games, but unfortunately I don't have time for them anymore. But the thing I have the most fun doing is this, like this live stream right now, like loving it. I'm having so much fun. Like I was hoping on making this last 1 hour, but I'm having so much fun. I'm like, screw the work. I'll make that video another day. I'm just gonna have fun with you guys and talk to you guys. Thank you, Alexander. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. What kind of music is your favorite? Because of the anxiety, chronic anxiety, I love really relaxing music. But if it's not relaxing music, I like dubstep. So like relaxing would be like chill step music. I think my favorite see if I can pull it up right here. But my favorite music is I go to YouTube. I do this when I'm working, and I'll put on this one here. I'm not sure if you guys are gonna hear it, but it's just relaxing piano music, none of the above. This is my jam right here. Just some calm, relaxing jazz music. This is probably totally messing up the mic, but listening to this music is like, gotta close this. This is the most exciting video of the week or month or year. Mouse, come on, cooperate with me. Okay, so I'm gonna full screen it. Check out this video, guys. You are gonna love it.
Peter, you like jazz?
Tremendous support you've shown. We're going to take back
chill tunes to plan religious genocide too.
The Senate, take back the House. We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think, it's going to be really something special. But the love and the affection and the respect that you've given all of us.
God, Trump's hair looks even worse in this video. What is going on with that thing?
It's really important. The Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been, and it's going to be a lot stronger than it is right now. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Thank you all very much. That support has been so incredible. Thank you.
The specific line that he says that blows my mind is the beginning.
Everybody for the tremendous
when he says, "I'm going to take the House, it's going to be sooner than you think." Listen.
Support you've shown. We're going to take back the Senate, take back
the
House. We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think.
We're going to.
Yeah, I think he's been listening to weirdo QAnon people, and he's kind of smelling his own farts on this one. Peter, there is no legal way, constitutionally, for Donald Trump to become president. He lost the election, Peter. He lost it. There is no legal way for him to become president. If Donald Trump became president, it would be through a violent military coup, which would be bad. But I don't think that's going to happen, luckily. So that's nice.
And take back the White House sooner than you think. What? Come on, guys. Is that not music to your ears? I've been telling you guys for months.
Again, Peter's excitement is entirely predicated upon his undying faith that Donald Trump is always right and never lies.
That Trump is going to be president this year. And Trump's come out. I mean, like, could he be any more specific? He literally said, some people think I'm going to be president 2024. I mean, let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree. But isn't he saying that he's going to be president this year when he says, I'm going to take back the White House sooner than you think? Combine that with...
He's dog whistling to QAnon people. He might be trying to incite another rash of violent events, like he did on the 6th.
United States are just ahead, which he says, or the best is yet to come, which he also says, or I made a list, I'm going to make a long video about it, but he said so many happy lines like, we're winning, I caught the swamp, everything's going to be great, don't worry about it. Uncle Buck says, do I drink caffeine? I love caffeine, I love coffee, but as I worship Majestic 12. Majestic 12 says that caffeine calcifies my pineal gland. So only if I really need to stay awake will I drink caffeine. But I love coffee. I love caffeine. Like if I have a horrible sleep the day before and I'm gonna be cranky without caffeine and low energy, I'll drink some. But I'll drink like caffeine maybe 10 times a year because it calcifies my pineal gland. And Majestic 12 really nailed in people's head that said decalcify your pineal gland. And the ways that you can do that is I'm going to answer that in a second. The way you can decalcify your pineal gland is stay away from sugar, which unfortunately I'm not doing right now. I'm eating.
Or you can do the thing from Beyond. Wait. Am I thinking of the right movie? Is From Beyond the one with the pineal gland that pops out of the head? Or am I thinking of a different one? I think so. Yeah. His pineal gland pops out of his head. Yeah, do that, Peter.
Granola I'm totally calcifying my pineal gland right now. Shame on me on food sitting, but sugar, GMOs, alcohol, and caffeine are the big pineal gland calcifiers. And with your pineal gland decalcified, you can really increase your telepathic abilities and some of your psychic skills, and also a lot of your intuition stems from your pineal gland. So if you drink a lot of alcohol and caffeine and GMOs, you're going to be not only brain foggy, but your intuition's going to be really bad, and your
okay, I'm going to start skipping through at this point.
Is going to be. Since then, I've been like very skeptical of these dates that are thrown around. That's a great question, Alex. Actually, I hadn't heard of the war. I know Bannon is a big personality, and sometimes he gets in fights with his own good guy group, but I hadn't heard about the war. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Oh, can't show that. There's some stuff I can't see on YouTube. Big celebration July 4th, 2021. You gonna have a big celebration, Deborah, or is there something else? I heard it'll be back in August by Tarrant.
Some people think July 4th is when Trump will be back in office.
Which I mean, interesting. There's certain comments and things that I'm not showing and saying because YouTube won't allow it, and I'm trying to keep up. You know what, WWG1W? If the church leader told me to go to Texas, I would say no. Honestly, I'm not that devoted to the church.
He got caught up in a different cult. What a shame.
I'm a Christian. I 100% believe in God, but I'm not like gung-ho. Like the church leader gives me orders, I'm be like, no thanks. I got my own plans. Plus, I disagree with a lot on what the church leader says. He doesn't think Trump's gonna come back. He thinks we're gonna go through a civil war, and it's all gonna be horrible. And he has a very pessimistic view in politics right now. And I don't. I'm 100% optimistic. What's over 800 pages? 2 questions. I guess you could say more dopamine addicts, you could say. There's a lot of that. It's an evil organization. I don't support Disney in any way, and I don't allow my children to have any Disney products.
Oh, his poor kid. Look, again, I get it. Disney's an evil corporation, but they make a lot of really good shit for kids. That's a shame. Peter, do you not watch the Avengers films? What a shame.
They're evil. You've seen those subliminals they have in Disney movies, like pornography and sexual content in kids' films.
Oh,
Disney,
no.
They're messed up. But I do watch some Pixar films. I am addicted to Pixar films.
Pixar is Disney! Peter! Pixar is Disney owns Pixar. They bought them like a decade ago.
Let me read your questions here. Thank you, 55 people, for joining me. I review the best cannabis in the world and create content about it. Good for you, cannabis connoisseur. I'm jealous. Can you hire me? I'd love to do that. Honestly, I love my job.
Andrew Batella says, please tell me the sexual content in Disney films is the stars spelling out sex in The Lion King. I think that's directly what he's referencing. That, and in The Rescuers, I think there's a freeze frame where they're flying by a window very quickly, and there's a couple frames of a topless woman that ended up getting taken out in later releases, and some animator got in trouble for it or something. There is the infamous Little Mermaid VHS cover that had part of the castle kind of looked like a dick, and then I think they recalled that and redid the cover. There's a lot of weird, dumb shit like that weird fundamentalists got all up in arms about.
As well, talking to you guys. The fact that I can make even a buck from talking to you guys.
The Jessica Rabbit thing.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
This is my passion.
Originally, there was a freeze frame moment you could have paused the VHS at in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you can see Jessica Rabbit's the rabbit hole, let's say.
I have many passions, but politics, talking to you guys, this channel is a passion of mine. You're welcome, Shauna. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. Sorry about that.
They've taken that out in the remasters, so don't go looking for it.
Thanks for the bud tips, bro. Hey, do you have any questions about where to get cannabis, how to get it organically, how to make a medicine, the medical properties, what it can heal, how you heal disease like Alzheimer's or diabetes or cancer?
You can Google it, though, I guess,
Let
if you
me
want.
know. I've written books on this. The only thing I don't know much about is growing. Well, thank you. Hope you guys kids to run away and to follow their hormones, to chase men, and to disobey their dads. So there's a lot of
about the Illuminati scene. Which scene? What are you talking about?
Parent stuff in these kid films. I can
Plenty
see
of that kind of thing is on the internet now. You don't need to track down a
yes,
movie
they
clip.
have videos of me on Christmas. I come down the stairs on Christmas, and all I do is grab the candy, and I'm just like on the candy.
Animators are horny. They are. I know multiple people who do art. Relatively often they do art either as like a side gig or as their hobby or whatever. Yes, animators are horny.
Like a drug addict for like
artists
for like
are horny.
20 minutes.
Let
I'm
me
like,
just
Peter,
put
you want
put
to check
it
out your
that
Christmas
way.
toys? I'm like, no, I'm still working on this candy cane. It's so good. I love this candy cane. I was definitely a little sugar drug addict. I'm trying to cut the sugar out now because it gives me a ton of pain. But sugar is as addictive as like meth or heroin if you actually put it on an addiction scale. So quitting sugar is like, it's hard.
That's true. Most people are horny, but artists have the capability to illustrate said horniness by drawing illicit material. They can take their inside thoughts and make them outside images.
I eat way less sugar nowadays than I normally do. Like one day.
So Hannah saying Sarah's horny. Have you seen her Patreon? I subscribe to Sarah's Patreon. She's got top tier Monster Girl XXX material on there. It's top tier shit. Go subscribe to Sarah's Patreon if you want to check it out.
I eat sugar, the next day I don't.
Am I male or female? I am a trans woman.
And it's kind of like that. Like 50% of the time I'm going sugar free that day, but it's hard. I love sugar.
What's Sarah's Patreon? I think it's Legend of Phoenix. It's on. It should be it should link to her Twitter, or her Twitter page should have a link to it.
Candy, so addictive, so addictive. Halloween was so much fun because we got dressed up in costumes. Yeah, that was fun too. I mostly like the candy stuff, but dressing up on Halloween is fun too. That's something I missed with my daughters because we don't eat GMOs because I see GMOs as a trap by the cabal to poison us. So Halloween, I don't know if plastic is just as bad as aluminum when it comes to soda. Aluminum is the worst. I try to keep plastic away from my food, but plastic's all over our food. It's deodorant, and then
oh no,
I put eucalyptus. Like it was.
This is where Peter talks about not using deodorant.
Like people who are cool and smart, that this is
Mike Max with some sort of image. I hope this is safe for work. Ask about Illuminati. Ah, gotcha. What does he think GMO means? I don't know.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I am enjoying it too. Don't wear your deodorants and antiperspirants with aluminum. I agree. Interestingly, I think I use a very unique type of deodorant strategy. I stopped deodorant with aluminum, I don't know, it was like 6 years ago, but I couldn't find a good replacement. I'm actually kind of a stinky individual. When I get stressed, I stress sweat, as I call it, and I reek horribly. I smell so bad. Even I can't stand my own smell. And I'm stressed often, especially if I'm not taking some type of natural anti-anxiety. So if I had no anti-anxiety medicine, I would just stink all the time. Like stink like I don't know, stink like trash all the time.
You could say anything conspiracy sounding in Peter's chat and he'd believe it instantly. Someone should test that. None of you should. Don't go interact with Peter in any way, but that would be funny.
So what I do for a deodorant is...
Get ready for what he does for deodorant.
We buy this salt crystal that you can get on Amazon. And supposedly it's a deodorant. You just rub the salt crystal after you shower on your armpit and it prevents bacteria.
Peter, they make natural deodorants or antiperspirants. I would recommend you do that instead of rubbing your armpits with salt. That's not going to help. Not in any way that's effective.
And I found that this was like good for like half the day. Like it was like 50% good at reducing my smell. But then I got eucalyptus, which I just came up with that.
You must have super... I feel like that would irritate my skin on top of not being really effective. I feel like rubbing salt on my skin would be really bad. I tend to have dry skin, though, so... Killjoy says he could just shower with soap more often unless he works outside. He won't be that bad. No, he's a stay-at-home dad, so...
Yeah, eucalyptus is also antibacterial. And I put eucalyptus on this salt crystal, and then I use this deodorant, and then I've been doing that for like 4 years.
I rub salt and eucalyptus in my armpits. Why do I smell so bad?
And it's great. Like 99% of the smell is gone for 24 hours. So I take the next shower.
I don't believe you.
As long as I use a salt crystal and some eucalyptus oil. Though it does burn a little bit.
You don't say.
Oh, thank you.
Man, I keep irritating my armpits by rubbing a rock on it, and then to add insult to injury, it's a salt rock, so I'm literally rubbing salt in my own wounds.
I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you guys' positivity, too. I guess positive people attract positive people. I am naturally an optimistic because, honestly, like, I'm surrounded by a lot of very pessimistic people, and...
You think you found it? Oh, God. Crystal body deodorant, rock, 5 ounce. That sure is a salt rock. Unscented. It's It's literally just a hunk of salt. Okay. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, it's just fucking salt. Look, I don't know if salt has any antibacterial properties. So it might work a little bit. Ooh, this person looks like they got irritated. Yeah, they got a terrible rash. Jesus, that's terrible. But Peter, just buy deodorant without the stuff in it that you don't want. Come on. So it is made with aluminum. It's made with aluminum alum. Is that what it said? Ammonium alum is what it says. I don't know what that is.
with the stress and the pain that I have in my life.
It also burns a bit because eucalyptus is toxic to humans. That'll do it. That's aluminum. Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and hope it's a different brand that doesn't use aluminum.
It's a natural reaction to
solidified ammonia. Enjoy that stank.
Reach towards feeling better. In this case, because of the stress and everything I experienced, I naturally realized, like, if I am optimistic, if I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm just gonna be enjoying life more. So I'm like, I'm gonna focus on the positivity. I'm gonna be positive, and it's worked out for me. I'm generally one of those positive, optimistic people in the room. If you want to smoke weed, you're allowed to on stream. Honestly, I'll confess, I did take some cannabis oil, CBD homemade cannabis oil before coming on here. So I am a little bit, I guess you could say intoxicated. But I've debated about smoking cannabis on video or vaping it, and smoking I wouldn't be able to do because my wife hates the smell. And even vaping it, there's such a stigma to vaping it that I'm still warming up to the idea. But I do plan on making a video where I vape a little bit. I'm totally open. Buy Tom's deodorants. Tom is a good company. I'm not sure what their deodorants are, but I was disappointed that their toothpaste doesn't have a lot of chemicals in it. Detox Honda, no more stinky sweat. Well, how do you recommend detoxing, Lara? I'm open to it. How do you use it, Shauna? I enjoy the chat, but I gotta go to support someone who's safe. Comments a lot, so I just.
Logart says ammonium alum is a common ingredient in animal repellent sprays.
Have to accept that.
I saw that.
That's how it's gonna be. All right, your church is about to get woke up when the D class comes. Right, Shauna? You are smart, Shauna. Yes, that is so true. Where is it?
Okay.
12.
I think I'm done with Peter's live
We're
stream.
saving Earth. Having a lot of fun with you guys. I guess I'll answer one or two more questions. Peter, ask if they're helping with the harvest. I've heard the good aliens are involved. I agree, Shauna. I do think that good aliens are involved in the harvest.
What's the harvest? What?
That's what I've heard. Any of your questions? Harvest, you mean rapture? Yeah, I think the harvest and the rapture is the same thing, said from different perspectives. Separating, the wheat that's going to be separated. Some quote in the Bible similar to that.
The wheat from the chaff is what you're thinking
of. Maybe they'll tell us. I bet it's neither. Probably something more advanced. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having spend your Sunday afternoon with me, and hope this answers a lot of your questions. And I guess because we did it so long, there won't be a video available for Monday, but for Tuesday, expect a very interesting political video. Thank you, everyone, and
Tuesday.
Appreciate you joining me this Sunday afternoon. All right, have a great day.
That's tomorrow, just in time for Tinfoil Tuesday. Great. So that's Peter doing Peter stuff. It's not great.
A young husky, and this is his first appointment with me. I am anticipating all the drama, and Fredo did not disappoint me. It didn't take him long to try to escape the bathtub or start screaming at me. Sometimes I wonder if my neighbors think I torture dogs for a living.
Chaotic Kitten with 200 bits says, Peter, Cece, I'm going to ignore all the people who care about me when they tell me that my deodorant is fake. They're pessimistic.
He kept hugging the corner and turning my water off on me. He put on such a dramatic performance that one would assume I was bathing him in acid. I almost want to give him an Oscar. I tried reasoning with him, but Fredo is more about that rebel life.
Can you maybe go back in the bathtub? By chance?
Clearly, Fredo felt that the bathtub was no place for water. So naturally, he stands on the ledge because the floor is a much better place for it. At this point, I know all of the Husky lyrics by heart. I soon came to the realization that Fredo just wanted me to have my own personal skating rink. I assumed the screaming would be over after the bath, but clearly he thought I was going to smother him with the...
Did Doomcock do something? You saw some squares talking about him. I guess some other fandom menace people talked shit about him and he's freaking out about it. I'll have to look into it for maybe a segment later in the week. Someone just told me about it during stream, so I haven't looked into it myself.
The towel. I think I finally met someone who talks more than I do. And the dramatic saga
Why am I watching a dog bathing? A cleanse before we end the stream.
Continued when I sprayed him down in our quick drying spray. But Fredo was saving the best for last. He wanted to show me just how high of a soprano singer he was. It was like he was trying out for American Idol.
Oh, poor baby.
This could quite possibly be the most dramatic husky I've ever worked on. If you listen closely, it almost sounds like he's screaming, "Oh, why?" After showing off his singing voice, he also wanted to show me what good of a swimmer he was. But what the real talent was the fact that he was able to scream and swim at the same time.
Blackwing Hecty. Hey, I worked hard for that dirt. Hannah, dog
and now
next.
that I'm
No.
hearing impaired,
I'm definitely
the
a
owners have
cat
asked that I
person.
brush his
Dogs are
teeth
great,
today.
but
He must have liked the taste of
I
the
just don't
toothpaste,
think I'd
because
be a
surprisingly,
good
he was
dog
quite a good
owner.
boy for this. I didn't even bother to attempt washing his face in the bathtub, so instead I'm gonna wipe him down with a hypoallergenic wipe. And after that, I brush him with my coral brush. Apparently, a wire brush is far less scary than a soft towel. The equigroomer did not remove much hair today because Fredo is still young and not quite shedding yet. Shaving his paw pads was quite difficult because he was very squirmy, so I gave him a tasty treat to distract him while I finished the job. His nails were too short to be clipped.
Von Tuck says, I wonder if the fandom menace makes Mike's DeClosses drink more than he already does. Doubt they'd exist without Plinkett. Oh god, you're probably right.
Toe beans, toe beans, toe beans. I'm begging, can I poke you while I can?
Blackwing Hecty says, I'm a
Your
panda
cuteness
person.
is beyond compare. You're so squishy, it isn't fair. My time is always brief with you, toe beans. It's only when my pet's asleep that I have precious time to keep on poking and loving you, toe beans. Toe beans, toe beans, toe beans, toe beans. I'm begging, can I poke you while I can? Toe beans, toe...
Funny.
So I sprayed him down in our Mango Tango cologne. And to Fredo's surprise, he did not die. He
That's
is
a
all
beautiful
finished,
dog.
looking and feeling very
Look
handsome.
at that puppo.
And now, if you'll excuse me,
Majestic.
I need to go check on those hearing aids that I ordered.
Mike Mack says, gay Dean, gay Dean, gay Dean. And then Morok says, I'm more of a budgie kind of... I don't get that. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Darwin's cute, but boy, is he a handful.
This is
Darwin is an excitable lad and very needy. Oh god, the Lord of Patriarchy guy. Of course, he posted a new food video and it's got two women kissing as the thumbnail for no reason. Wait, why is Jake in an alligator costume in this video? What is happening? Why is he a gator? Why is he an alligator and not a corn? That's Cobzilla? Okay, I missed that one. I feel like there was something. What was I gonna... Oh, I was gonna see if maybe there was a sausage video. before we go? Sausage. S'mores sausage.
I am a genius. YouTube comment suggestions. Oh, yeah. Those
Oh, I love s'mores.
Those are some pretty good looking s'mores.
Ugh, I feel like the chocolate and marshmallow is going to be such a pain to get out of that thing.
It formed into a shape. You know, not a lot of hope for this one. This one's for the duty books. Let's sausage. All right, I think it's done. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too fears what he created? Here we go. It kind of tastes like Cocoa Pops. Not bad as poop sausages go. 1 out of 5. Bop, 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 bop.
Pretty good. Okay, let's raid someone. Wow, okay, a lot of people are streaming right now. Okay, who are we gonna raid? Why is that in Spy Kids? It's in Spy Kids too, okay? Island of Lost Dreams. Let's be clear. Baja votes Lumi. Okay, we can rate them. All right, have a wonderful evening, everyone. I'm gonna go edit some stuff and exercise. Morok says, should I rewatch Spy Kids? Do they hold up? I mean, in a nostalgia way, sure, but they're pretty bad movies. They're interesting, though. The first movie is basically carried by Alan Cumming, the guy who plays Floop. Alright, see you guys later. Have a good night. See you tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday.
Much persuading, says Sumner.